Is the Adelaide Crows. It should be a ring-a-ding-ding cracker game today. Of course, Adelaide need victory to climb that ladder, and Brisbane need the win to secure their spot in the top 8. There are the odds today. We've got Brisbane Lions there at 122. They're hot favourites to win against the Adelaide Crows at 415. Don't be surprised, folks, if Adelaide get up here. Adelaide have been playing really good football, and it should be a great game. Here are the lineups there today for them. And of course we have Brisbane. We've got the in for Brisbane, Jackie Payne. Of course, Doug Joyce omitted from the team. Brodie Smith comes in for Adelaide, and Will Hamill is injured. He goes out. Milestones today for Adelaide. Sam Berry playing his 50th game, and of course Josh Rochelle also playing his 50th game. We're only about 3 minutes away from the start here of the first quarter. We'll get to the commentators not too far away and underway on this game. Let me just shrink that down a bit so that comes into picture a bit more for everybody. Maybe I need to shrink it. Technical. There we go. I just need to bring that back. Bring that back. Bring that back. Stretch it out. Let me put the lineups back on there for everybody to see. All right. How's that? Is that looking a bit better there, folks? Is that looking a little bit better? As I said, there's the lineups. We'll get to the summary in a moment. Let me just see if that fits on. That's not too bad on screen. Let me just bring it back a little bit more. All right, beautiful. I tell you what, live streaming, folks, it's you just got to work it out as you go along. Just about there. Just about there. All right, the game is just about... I'm going to put it back over to the commentary. Enjoy the game, everybody.
Snapping up the heels of the top 8. That was a brilliant finish. Come from behind finish of the Lions last week. In fact, the Lions own the current best win streak in the AFL as it stands right now. They've won their last 4 games in a row, hoping to make it 5 in a row. They've got the second best percentage in the competition as well, despite sitting 9th right now. They do have a draw, but so do a couple of the teams above them. Essendon and Fremantle sit above them. So it's all there for the taking for the Lions if they can get this run going all the way to September.
Yeah, no doubt about it. They've been very good. Last week they really butchered the game against Melbourne. They had plenty of opportunities. They finally got over the line. Ironically, they kicked horribly all night, then kicked the 2 hardest shots of the night late to get them over the line. So Chris Fagan, happy with the way his team's going, still working on their defence. Yeah, teams are still scoring against them at the moment, Jared. So just getting that balance right.
Yeah, I love their young blokes coming through, in particular Darcy Wilmot coming off the back.
Young Loman there, he's been a revelation.
Reville's been superb. You've got Fletcher and you've got Ashcroft A and you've got Ashcroft B coming next week, which is next year, I should say. But I was really impressed with the Adelaide Crows also. You know, I think they've got an outstanding back line. It's going to be, I think, the cornerstone of their next finals assault, and I suspect that'll be next year. But Matty Nicks, he would have been thrilled with what they produced last week, which has given them a genuine chance to finish off with a very exciting last couple of months. Top of the corner, in the middle, Jordan Dawson and Harris Andrews, who wins the toss, will kick to the right of screen as we head back downstairs to Alistair Lynch.
Thanks, Dwayne. As we heard from Chris Fagan just pre-game a couple of minutes ago, since they last played the Adelaide Crows in round 9, they've really worked on a number of things. The main thing is their offensive ball movement, and certainly from that stage, since round 10 to round 16 last week, their potency forward has really increased. Their scores per inside 54, they're ranked 1 in the competition, but the problem is the scores per inside 50 against, they're ranked 7. 17. So basically what that means is they're very aggressive on their ball movements, they cut through, and whether they're turning the ball over deep, they're just not set up well enough behind the ball. Now this is probably a bit of an example from Melbourne last week. A couple of weeks before that, it was the Security Football Club as well. The major concern is defensive 50 to inside 50 transition. Again, Brisbane are ranked 1 in the competition, but the against side of that, they're ranked 16. So massive concern. So something we need to watch today is when they're aggressively, the likes of Zorko going through the corridor, trying to get that offensive ball movement, to make sure on transition, if they turn the ball over, they're set up behind the ball. That is where the Adelaide Crows can hurt Brisbane today, and certainly the man that might benefit is Isaac Rankin.
Yeah, he's going to be the killer, but you can just see a couple of good examples there. Lynchy, one was kick mark, and the other one was just a complete outnumber against the Lions going through the middle. So they were hurt on both facets there, and I suspect that's going to be a pretty strong tag through the middle of the ground.
He's in form as well, by the way. Josh Dunkley, 32 possessions last week against Melbourne. Great to have your company wherever you're watching. We're underway with the 2 big O's in the ruck. Oscar McInerney against Riley O'Brien. You saw Rankin start in the middle, and he starts by getting a possession. Himmelberg front spot. Thrust away from him into the congestion. Laird a tap. Walker a tap. Laird a tackle. Brilliant hunt down tackle from behind. And he's in good form as well, Zorko.
Absolutely. I'm glad Adelaide's wearing white shorts.
Yeah, good point.
Clash there, isn't it?
Himmelberg, you'd reckon he'd be trying to nullify Harris Andrews as much as kick a goal.
Probably to give it some time. Starcevic bobbles it away. And Curvis gets there. Shook off. Archie. Little chip kick is straight to the arms of the hero from last week, Hugh McCluggage.
Yeah, he's outstanding. Wing, half forward, midfield.
That is a great kick.
Archie can go if he wants to, and he does. Half one who thought about it and then went out wide to the possession machine, Lachie Neale, 2-time Brownlow medalist. Doesn't want to bomb it inside 50 initially. He pulls the kick late, and that doesn't work. So it's an interesting way to enter your 50. Keane's been in some pretty good form. Their defence has been okay, Adelaide in many respects. Mark Keane, the Irishman's been a great pickup. Payne back into the lineup this week. Big fist. Zorko got it from Harris Andrews, gives it back to McCluggage.
Zorko's the one for mine who needs sitting on.
Brilliant pass to hit.
And McCluggage early, probably gives McCluggage 2 kicks, but one from in defence, he nailed it into the centre square, and that was a beautiful kick. You see Brisbane, they look like, some teams might want to keep going out to the other side. Brisbane will get into the corridor, then they're prepared to then go direct towards goal, the fastest route home. This man, Eric Hipwood's been one of the form forwards of the competition the last 6 weeks.
Oh, hasn't he returned to some enormous form? But Zorko is such a creator off the half back line. I think a lot of sides are going to start putting some work into him and make life a little bit more difficult. But Eric Hipwood, he's certainly improved his goal kicking over the last couple of months. This was a nice early test for him.
25 goals, 16 this year. He has been pretty accurate. Not quite accurate enough. Crowd went up, thought it was close enough, but it wasn't.
They were at the Jonathan Brown end of the stadium, though, and I couldn't quite see that guy.
Got it to just draw back nicely. Browning.
That's what we do.
Hinge about to kick it in. As three games for the Brisbane Lions as a rookie all those years ago. White, he has had a good year. He's spot on. Dano with one paw, held it like a good clutch, and then goes long to Arena.
This is great strength, guys, a player.
Touch there. Good for him. Oh, no, he's paddled hard. It's a funny spinning ball. You wonder whether it was touched off the ball. He can take a mark. He can run. It's just a matter of staying in the game, though, Jerry. We saw this last week against Melbourne. Took a strong contested mark, but then big chunks of the game then without really being involved. So hopefully this gets him off to a good start and it continues on.
That's his great challenge. It's just to keep on getting the contest, because when he does, he more often than not gets hold of the pill.
So 2 straight last week. Won't miss from there. Doesn't miss from there. The Lions are away.
Well, Brandon, you've called an unusually spinning ball. Many of the players were calling it touched. We'll see if he can pick it up mid-flight.
That's a hold from better than one hand.
Yeah.
Great stuff. And they can't check So when we get chip and ball technology, you want to be able to check that or not?
He nearly broke his hand.
I don't
Yeah,
mind.
but,
Too much checking.
well, young Michael Annie's got to do a better job of appealing, though.
Yeah.
Selling that to the umpire. I think they're touched off the boot.
So that's the big dilemma the AFL does have. When chip and ball technology comes in, will that be deemed no mark?
Well, I think it should be now. The last kick in, if there's a mark, it should be allowed to be reviewed.
So from the scramble, early break goes the Lions' way. Oscar McInerney fighting hard.
What do you think about that, Jared?
No, I'm not a fan of that, Brandy. I think we'd be reviewing all day long.
What about the grand final? Well, that happened in the grand final.
Yeah, well, that's the luck of the draw. It's happened for years.
Michael Annie, Dan Curvis leader. The argument you two are having right now is probably the argument they're having at AFL headquarters as well. Lyman, because I'm not sure they've decided what to do with it yet. The technology. Lyman breaks away, hands it up, hip foot, runner, little fumble, and that was good enough. Eye contact.
That's good rebounding from the Lions off that half back line. Just sharp hands. A little bit unlucky with the tackle, but it did slip high, and he gets an opportunity to nail 2 goals in 2 minutes.
He kicked 2 straight last week from just 8 possessions against Melbourne, Cam Rayner. Had a few single possession games this year, including last week. When he's on, he's on. Hugh Sweet Caroline again.
I think for Brisbane, the challenge for Matthew Nixon, the Adelaide staff, is Brisbane attack the corridor. They're the top 3 corridor teams in the competition, so defensively you've got to be on. You've got to at least force the line. Just have a look at their one. Zorko straightens them up beautifully, but they'll attack straight through the middle instead of going any wider. So they change angles there, and the free kick was definitely there. Raiders off to a great start. Can he continue it?
And Lohman also a youngster getting his Guernsey. Yeah, definitely a high tackle, but I've really enjoyed Lohman, and when he had to fight to get his spot, probably only got it because of injury, but he has been excellent in that forward 50. And again, it was Zorko coming off the half-back line, getting involved and straightening him up down the corridor.
McInerney and O'Brien. O'Brien sweeps it in the direction of Rankin, but Neil knew where he was going. Gets the clearance in the Lyman direction. He kept it in front nicely. Kept it in front so he can go and get it. He's hunted down by Murray. Dowling. Berry. Playing game 50 today, Sam Berry. Gets it to the wing. Rankin. Walker. Berry. Dropped it on cue. Archie. Neil. Lyman looked up and they couldn't quite get on the same page, the two of them, so we'll get a ball in here, Jasper Fletcher.
He's won 2 Brownlows, hasn't he? Is there any chance anyone's going to go near Lockie's ear?
Well, there's Jordan Dawson going to him now, but I don't think that's a set tag, Jared.
Well, he was nowhere near him at the last centre bounce, and he got it clear there, and then he picked up a handball.
I might not have seen last week where he got 29 possessions and 6 clearances against Melbourne Lockie Neal.
Well, he's already got 4 possessions, 2 contested, and 2 inside 50s, Dwayne.
Fletcher. It's a pretty good spot with that kick. Danaher's under it, got hands on it. Ashcroft couldn't do something with it out the back. Reveal, little tight like Neil. Brilliance again. He is the everywhere man, Lockie Neal. And they might have to lock down on Lockie at some stage.
Well, there, Jared, in the coach's box, the Adelaide Crows. The moment he called it about 45 seconds ago, Jared. Jordan Dawson started at him at a stoppage, and then was nowhere near him after this.
No, being in a stoppage is one thing, but impacting and preventing and getting the ball is a totally different thing. I mean, we've seen him hard tagged, and we've seen him struggle with tags, so you can't have your cake and eat it too, I reckon, in the coach's box. And this is a bloke eating cakes. Joe Danaher, front of the big stopper, or the big clash there, just gets the ball to ground, and then they do their work. Mark Keane actually came in and apologised for that one. He didn't deliberately KO him straight afterwards, but Jordan Dawson, if he's your man, it's the captain's now responsibility to just sit on him for a period of time because he's putting it to the sword.
Two big O's collide. Saligo goes. I need a hero in a hurry. Big fist of Leicester thumps it down. Scrambled by McKenna. And it is, both fronts of the jumpers are blue, so you're right about the clash. From the back it's not too bad, but both things with blue fronts.
Yeah, they decided to go with blue today, Brisbane.
Yeah.
It's their Indigenous jumper, but
Yeah,
it
but
looks
it's their
fantastic.
It's their home game.
Let it go badly here, the Crows, just to settle things down.
Smith back into the lineup this week. Brody Smith. Flyers go up. Wilmot can't get away.
So we ranking dangerous last week, especially early in the game. Got a close watch in there, Starcevich.
Neil. Fletcher. Bobbles it away. Murray front on contact, not paid. Rayner. Hands it up and they're away again. Dunkley down the spine. Umpire's gone down. Reville goes and gets it to Lohman. Lurking. Poke pass. Cameron. Oh, front on contact. No free. So it's all even. One not paid apiece. Keane. Around his body. Good grab. Starcevich.
Started well on there.
Dunkley. Slick. Bailey. Dance past. Rayner Ashcroft. They could have raffled it. Not sure who that was meant for, that kick, but been collected. Rayner, who spent it before it earned it there.
See young Jasper Fletcher disappointed with the fumble because that was going to be to him, and the umpire pops one from behind him. But we know that's been an issue in the game in recent months.
And we know that some players tend to use the umpire occasionally. Good front tackle by Dunkley. Just threw it over his head, Dowling.
He's a bit lucky there, Dowling. The umpire came in so quick. I mean, gee.
Rayner over it. Dunkley got it. Fletcher in between them. Tackled well by Murphy and then dropped it. He pleads his case.
He actually had the ball in one hand there, Wayne, and I think he was should all. If it had been continued to play on, it was a free kick against.
It was hard to say that he made an attempt if you flick it over your head to your back. When it comes to kicking. And how's the umpire going to read that? Fletcher comes hard to get the free. Insufficient intent.
Geez, they've been hot early, the Lions. Their pressure has been good. Their delivery into the middle, into the forward line has been good. Rebound off the half-back line. They're hot.
Wilmot. Yes, there's a 3-on-3. Lohman stayed down. The fists puts it back into a dangerous spot. Cameron dropped Rochelle. It should get out of trouble. Michael Annie. Walker. Dance step was nice. Got away from Fletcher. Keys. Another X line out there. Can't trap that. Andrews got it. Dunkley, Bailey, Neil, all the usual suspects getting high numbers early. Reville, splendid tackle on Keane.
I love Bruce. He gets the calls from the crowd. Bruce and Sam Cummings has been a fantastic addition to Brisbane since the early season injuries. And played a really good role on the wing. His kicking is beautiful under pressure, especially.
Cook. Fogarty, good attack, couldn't complete it. Hard tackle.
I love that.
Murphy.
I love that from Fogarty. He understands his team's under pressure, so they need a strong contest there at the end of the ball. Make them earn it. That's what he did then. He had a really good game in the round 9 clash against Brisbane. Kicked 4 goals.
McKenna will come off the ground here. Yeah. He hit the ground here. You see his head in this contact from Fogarty. Head hits the ground very hard. Doctors are out there with him now. So that contact there, and then the follow-up on the ground. So he looks like he hasn't really moved. He's on his knees, just getting up now. And he's staying on the ground, which is a little surprise. But he's going to be a bit sluggish for a few seconds there.
So the doctors normally look at the vision, and if they deem he needs to come off, they go and get him. We'll see if they go and get him. Berry goes and gets it to Nankervis. Handball too wide for Dowling, who got it in the end okay from Laird. Wobbles it, but they got players everywhere. Harris Andrews, the gatekeeper.
Well, there's a lot of dirty ball coming in. There's nothing really succinct at the present time. And Harris Andrews will mop that up every time.
McKenna looks okay.
Well, only because he was by himself there because he hadn't moved. He doesn't look that good.
All right. Not a bad kick. Puts it out in front, and O'Brien. Nice hands. They need their ship steady. Adelaide. Pumps it down the line. Fogarty. Andrews with a big fist. Knocked it down to the front. So Neil to Payne. Back to the wing and back to Keane.
To kick. It's good for Brisbane though. Harris Andrews down. But this is what they need to do. So they need to get some shorts going, Adelaide, so they can get over the top of Harris Andrews especially.
Shaw got it from Himmelberg. He's already got one to the chops. Walker.
Beautiful kick.
He wheels and goes. Sits it up in hope. Fogarty's going to have to go. Did from 4 deep but couldn't bring it down. Big ball to win. Starcevich knocked it away. Smith went and got it. Himmelberg didn't get enough on it. And McKenna called for the safe catch, and Tex makes him earn it in the end. Knocked away. Michael Annie got in the way. Might still pounce. Kept it alive. Fed it inside to Cook. Couldn't finish it.
Great effort by Michael Annie. So clearly he's fighting Charlie Cameron all the way. Played on him previously, so they've gone with that matchup. Followed him all the way. Fantastic effort.
Wilmot, Dunkley, Ashcroft, second game back for Will Ashcroft, 80 possessions last week in his return game after a knee reco.
Dunkley's ninth, Dwayne.
Yeah, he's rhyming at the moment. Lynchy, he might be up for a high count. Rayner knocked it away. Loman paddled it. Ashcroft off the deck. Playing in front, position A. Joe's almost within range. From there, Smith gets back, saves the day.
Now's the time probably not to play on so quick. He knew he had runners out of the handball over the top. Or just give it a pause and allow his teammates to get inside 50.
Cook, that might be too wide for everybody. Overcooked it. Free kick lines.
Sometimes Joe just goes the old instinct, plays on, and hopefully it works its way through when he does. But on that occasion, Brownie, you're on the money. He had 2 options, and that wasn't the best one.
Ashcroft, and he was dubbed late, so that's going to be a free kick downfield. It's Hipwood's ball here.
You love that as a key forward, right? You just get a nice one out of the goal square, which you haven't hurt yourself.
So is he on an angle here? In theory, he probably shouldn't be, should he? Because the ball
Should be the middle of the goal square.
You'd think so, across the goal line, across goal square, I mean. But umpires deem that he should be on that angle.
Oh, you know it.
It's a lot.
Would almost be better back with Ashcroft.
Must have been where it was.
Yeah,
Play where it was bounced.
yeah, so it bounced across the behind line, but that seems a disadvantage because they've got that strange rule where you have to draw a line from where it crosses the behind line to the middle of the goals, which are at right angles. We'll fix that one next year, that strange rule. Himmelberg stands under this. Payne thumps it away. Berry on the move. Keane. Shaw. So they haven't done any scoring of their own, but at least they've stopped the Lions scoring.
They've also stopped Isaac Rankin, who's had just 2 touches.
Walker. Good hands.
Just put him to the forwards advantage. I like their last 2 forays forward, not that one.
No. Get out of jail, though. Hinge with the long bomb. Off hands, Keys. Well, he knows where they are here. The ex-Lion kicks the first for the Crows.
Terrific player. A lot of folks goes into Isaac Rankin and Shelley Murphy as well, but this man has been as good as any of them as a small forward. His ability to get up and down the field is amazing. He's become a really good goal kicker. Playing the half forward flanking role, sometimes a defensive forward. Grew up in Brisbane, actually grew up across the road from me, Jared, as a young fella. So I'll claim that. I taught him the left foot. He's an absolute beauty. What a pick up he's been for the Crows.
You're right, Brownie, in what you said. Walker's last 2 marks have been on the league because they've been pulled 35-metre passes rather than just bombing to where Harris Andrews is really comfortable. So much better entries into the forward 50 for Adelaide.
Lockie Neal back onto the ground. He had a spell on the bench.
Laird with him, side by side, trying to shut him down. They get the clearance. Soligo out of the middle. Tumbler. Tough ball, but the chaos ball might still work. No, killed to the boundary. Now, they're asking for insufficient intent.
One paid there last week.
So, you can patch the ball over the boundary from a marking contest, but not when it's in general play.
Paid actually, he was smart there, Ben Keys. He didn't want to take it because he's a left footer, of course. But that's where it was paid last week into Alex Neil-Bullen, and Hugh McCluggage kicked the goal.
So if that was a marking contest, that'd be fine, but not in that situation. And Keys, who kicked 2 goals last week against the Giants, well, has 2 today. And let's the crowd know about it.
Well, he's had an amazing impact over the last couple of minutes. 2 goals in a couple of minutes, and all of a sudden a worried look on Chris Fagan's face, and he's entitled to be worried.
We won't have to worry too long because he's coming off. Your hot guy coming off. We're still okay with that, are we?
That was an interesting one, wasn't it? Yeah.
What's the thing in the deliberate, Brownie? It was clearly deliberate.
To the letter of the law, it is deliberate,
Yeah.
because he was going no other way. So you're right, it was a market contest, it wouldn't have been paid. So if you're consistent with it, I'm happy with that.
Game 99 for Adelaide as well. Ben Keys, 30 games for the Lions to go with his 99 for Adelaide. So a milestone coming up for him next week. But the main thing is, we've got Adelaide back into the game in the ruck contest. Berry, Saligo playing a role. Another clearance, 2 clearances in a row for him. Himmelberg attacks it. Andrews right with him. Hits the deck with Shelley. Nankervis. Drop step was good. Got away from 2. Bangs it inside 50 and Payne. Solid grab.
Yeah, and that time he was unlocking Neil Saligo, so Lockie Neil's conceded a couple. He's basically just going the footy himself, trying to clear. And that's a courageous kick up the middle.
So their fortune favours the Brave here. Shelley knocks it down. Pumps straight back and high. Lions have the extra behind the ball. And McKenna soccers it from mid-air. The Irishman invented something nicely there. Lyman and Bullock. Good time to go. He took 2 steps and then didn't really like the idea. Danaher. And this is right in his wheelhouse here. Wheels around on his left and puts this through post height normally.
Great bench press there. Saw Lynch do that a few times. Dwayne back in the day.
Yes.
Bench press in the chest. He's in fantastic form. Joe down there. I think this is...
He'd have to be in the top 2 or 3 in the BNF, wouldn't he, Joe?
Oh, yeah. And he'd be in consideration for all Australia as well. I think he's had a consistent year.
32 goals, 29 this year. So he sets it up for the top of the square for the leapers and set it up for Keane to go and get it. Lyman dropped it. Nankervis wobbles it away. Huge grab back from Neil. He was never with the right to take that grab with 3 crows coming at him, but he stood his ground.
Well, he carried a nagging groin all last year. Still won the medal. But gee, his athleticism there tells you that he's absolutely on top of his game physically. That's a magnificent fly.
Eight possessions, 2 goals already for the dual Brownlow medalist.
Well, we saw Jack Crisp have a scintillating first quarter on Friday night, Jared.
Yep.
This man's following in the same pattern. 2 goals already from the 8 disposals so far, starting as a genuine centre-bounce midfielder as he always does. Great courage going back, terrific mark. Just couldn't clear it out of there. That's the last place you want to bomb it up. You need to at least put it boundary side. You've got to do a better job there too, with Shelley and Rankin to get that ball to ground. Tag or not to tag?
I'd be tagging him right now. When a guy's hot, you've just got to recognise he's hot. And it's not Rory Laird. They're rotating, as we know. Saligo stood beside him, but I don't think it hurts to just go hard tag for the rest of the quarter, just to settle down. They got themselves back into the game, or they did. They just conceded another one.
Bailey, wrapped up by Saligo, dragged down, kicked it off the carpet. Lyman couldn't handle it. Still alive. Hinge. Dan Curvis, it's almost a throw. He flung that over his shoulder. That's almost a push in the back from Joe. 2 hands in Smith's numbers.
So I think she said before, when Adelaide have just pulled the kick a bit, when they go forward here, they've looked much better. Instead of just kicking it straight up to Harris Andrews or Jack Payne, just think their way through this.
Butts. O'Brien. Himmelberg from 3 deep, couldn't handle it.
Zach Bailey's the one that I reckon the Lions have got to get going. Brownie's he's just going at the present time. He's such an electric player. Kicked one of the greatest goals I've seen in the grand final of all time last year. But he just hasn't found his absolute best.
Both Russ got a piece of it. Laird went and got in. Scholl to half forward. Walker came hard. Put his own man down. Murphy couldn't control it. Zorko to Wilmot. Back to the wing. It put really Matt and Muddy to get there.
Presented beautifully last 6 weeks, Dwayne. Getting up the field, sometimes deeper later on in the games.
70-metre bomb. Archie stands at the back hoping it would come. And the crowd wants that to be insufficient intent, but of course, again, the rule is in a marking contest you can do that.
Archie kicked 4 goals in the previous matchup in round 9 down at the Adelaide Oval, and they had the draw. So we watched closely today.
Yeah, 13-12 apiece a couple of months ago when these two teams clashed at the Adelaide Oval, as Jonathan Brown mentioned. McCluggage had 31 possessions, Berry 30 and a goal. As that one's rolled its way through legs. Big moment for Dowling, wrapped up, got it away to Smith. Had the poise there. Outside of the boot from Nan Curvis. Himmelberg got there and marked that. Was his fist and then his hands.
I think he may be trying to play a defensive role, Lynchie, on Harris Andrews.
I think he is. He's doing a pretty good job. Harris hands over at different times as well to Taylor Walker. But yeah, the majority of the time, that's the matchup. Good to see here as well. Isaac Rankin hasn't got into the game yet, but he's getting in up. So he's playing as a half forward, but pushed up into this stoppage just to try to get away from Starcevic. Starcevic going with him.
McInerney front position. Laird lays that tackle to stop Dunkley getting away.
Yeah, that stoppage, it looked like they rolled the dice a little bit.
They did.
Oh, someone's gone down off the...
Yeah, so that was a Rankin hit off the ball for Starcevic. Just a bump, hip and shoulder bump, but Starcevic wasn't watching.
So they've allowed play to roll. Was it a hit to the head?
No, I reckon he's winded. There was a hip and shoulder to the chest. Stars was chasing Rankin and then turned away, and Rankin just stopped, and a bit of a bump to the chest. So I'd say it's winding, but yeah, he's laying down there in the hands of the trainers. I think they've got to stop the game.
Stop play here. McCluggage has got the ball.
Yeah, they've just stopped it.
Let's stop it, because this is a horrible sight. I see a player in this much distress.
Rankin's just gone off in the black book. So he's going to get stitches in the top of his head.
Certainly been watching very closely, a fair way up the ground, Lynchie, as you said. You know he's not going to go in with a set of bounces, but this wasn't ready.
Yeah, I think he's got him right at the chin. Head to the chin.
That's when the game stopped.
And he had a right to ask the question. It was strange that they let it go. We had one player out there bleeding and another player out there who was in the hands of the doctors holding his head. So he's up and he's walking off, which is a good sign. Subs, by the way, for the Lions, Logan Morris, and for the Crows, Zach Taylor. High bomb, players fly, all out of play.
Yeah, that'd be a big watch actually for Brisbane, because they're suffering. Starcevic is not allowed back on the ground or can't come back on the ground. It's going to be a problem.
It's hard to see him coming back after that incident.
Got a good job on ranking so far in this game.
Bryant knocks it to the front. Against the grain, Rochelle. Dawson got under that a bit, but at least he got it out of there. Big pack around it. Payne double-fisted. Murphy with the crumb. Thumps it. Open space. Race on. Lester will get there. Hunted down by Tex. Corrals in. Wants to send him across the goal face. Well played, Tex. Dangerous spot now. Couldn't handle the Murphy, and then he tackled Fletcher without it.
Well, they're not in this game though, Adelaide. They're doing quite well at stoppages. Their pressure's not too bad. We've just got to prevent this ball flow off turnover because they've conceded every goal. 4 goals from turnover.
Starswich heading down the race with the doctor now.
Adelaide free. The crowd's a little restless at the moment.
I think it was fair enough. It was an early block. 5-metre rule there. Just hitting the fraction early, Zach Bailey.
Led to Himmelberg. Dunkley came late. Arm chop. Crowd.
Is he followed up at the Gabba club?
No, they what? Himmelberg. Dawson.
They have settled pretty well here, the Crows.
He's launched that. Walker goal square. Beat everyone and thumb through for defensive behind by Jarrett Berry, who signed a new contract to stay aligned this week. 5-year extension. Great news for he and the Lions. Wide ball. Dunkley got there late. They crashed it down to the front of the man. Speaking of Jarrett Berry, no one comes at him. A bounce and a sizzler. Danaher turns and goes. Archie, can he get there? Did. Put it to grass. Waiter ran past it. Laird, dangerous. Made it tough for Murray. Knocks it back to his own advantage to Laird. Himmelberg out of jail.
Geez, he's missing some short options, Big Joe. He had Rayner running past him there. It just had to be a 30-metre kick.
Show. Zorko cuts it off. I love Dane Zorko. 28 possessions last week against Melbourne, and you'd think his All-Australian squad a 40-bound as well.
None more so than Chris Fagan after Kevin Carlton's injury in the first game.
McKenna. Brilliant wrap-up tackle. He took on Dawson. And the umpire said no, he didn't.
It's well on the edge there.
There's another example of that aggressive kick out of half-back for Brisbane. They'll take on the corridor, very aggressive while they score so much, but while they're getting scored against the other way.
That's all on the ball, though.
Yeah, had to be. Oh, the umpire didn't get the memo, or he just didn't get it correct. But there's 3 umpires out there that can overrule him. If he calls for a ball up and someone else sees it,
Yeah, I think the way it's getting interpreted. Yeah, it's fine kick.
Laird, Slick, Saligo, and a fair bit of it. Murphy,
Ticking around the stoppage there. They're on top of the stoppage game at the moment.
top of the square. Oh, put to grass by Riccelli. Had a big piece of it.
That was a hack kick. He's lucky there.
Hipwood, Murray, Fletcher. Found some space, but there wasn't a lot. Bailey flicks it out, and maybe it was a flick. And then luggage. Archie. Dragged down. Front on contact, high contact, and Nate Curtis.
I think Adelaide's press has been pressing the second half of this quarter. 8 to 10 to tackle count. They've really come to play. They've been able to settle things down.
Need a quick kick inside 50 for a mark, and they can have a shot. Himmelberg played on. Quarter time. There's some spice in this. The final game of round 17. The Lions began the round 8. A couple of winners around them have seen them drop out of the 8. They need to win this to get back in at a quarter time. They lead by 12 points. 4-2 to 2-2.
All right, there we go, folks. End of the first quarter here up at the Gabba between the Brisbane Lions and the Adelaide Crows. And it's the Brisbane Lions who take a slender lead. 4 goals, 2-26. Adelaide Crows, 2-14. She's a tight old game. It's a pretty good game. The game is reasonably open. So we're getting good play, good run. Both back lines are holding up well for their respective teams. We're going to have a little bit of a look at some of the player stats here at the moment. Of course, Rayner was the first goal scorer. I think it was Rayner. Let me have a bit of a look there. Yep, Cam Rayner was the first goal scorer. Let's have a little bit of a look at the stats for your players. I think that's around all right. That's okay. Jolly good. Very good. All right, so here we go. The leading disposal getter on the ground at the moment is Josh Dunkley from the Brisbane Lions. I think that's the Brisbane Lions, that team. From the Brisbane Lions. He's got 8 kicks, 4 handballs, 3 marks, 1 tackle, 2 clearances. So he had a cracker. Let's say a cracker. He had a cracker of the first quarter, 12 disposals. That's good numbers by anyone's standard. Luke Nankervis, second best on the ground with the leading disposal getter. He's had 10 possessions, 4 kicks, 6 handballs. Brodie Smith follows by Lockie Neal there, doing well for the Brisbane Lions. He's had 4 kicks, 4 handballs, 2 marks. He's had 1 clearance also. Connor McKenna with 7. Laird with 7. Keane with 7. Hipwood with 7 also going okay. Let me just run down these stats for all the folk out there that's deliciously delightful. I love that name. Fantastic. Welcome in. Thanks for coming. Appreciate that. Who did you tip? Who did you tip today? Brisbane or Adelaide? I think it could be anyone's game. It's a tight game. It's a good game happening at the moment. There we go. Dane Zorko, he's having a little bit of a quiet one. Brisbane's star there with only 4 disposals. He's had 3 kicks, 1 handball. He's had 2 marks, 2 tackles. As we keep walking down. And Taylor Walker for Adelaide. There we go. He's been a little bit quiet also in the first quarter. Just with the 4 disposals. He's had 3 kicks yet to score. 1 handball. He's had 2 marks, of course, up the ground. Joe Danaher, also from Brisbane Lions, the forward man up there. He's had 4 disposals, 4 kicks. Of course, he never likes to handball, so that's all right. But no score, no damage. They're done by him. 3 marks from those 4 kicks. We just keep going down. Brandon Starcevich, there's the one. He got a great knock. He got shirt front by one of the Adelaide players there. I can't quite remember who that was. But yeah, Starcevich was on the ground for a good 2 to 3 minutes, but we are thinking he was just winded. He just got badly winded because he was shirt fronted in the midsection, which took his breath away. Isaac Rayner, just the 2 touches. Of course, Josh Rochelle, just the 2 as well. And there we go down for all the stats for all the players there. Let's go back up. Let's have a little bit of a look at the goal scorers. For the first quarter, we've got Cam Rayner there for Brisbane. He's got 2 goals alongside Lockie Neal, who's having a great game. 2 goals from 8 disposals, 4 kicks. Going at a 50% strike rate there on his goals to kicks. Ben Keys there for Adelaide. He is the only goal scorer for the Adelaide Crows. All right, let's have a quick look at some team stats before they get underway in the second quarter. Disposals, all pretty level there, 92 to 90. There we go. Kicks, handballs, pretty similar, so they all balance out. Inside 50, as I said, it's been a pretty open running game. 16 to 14, which is pretty high so far. The efficiency is not too bad. Brisbane a little bit under. Adelaide are a fair bit up on their season's average. But once you go inside 50, their efficiency certainly drops away a little bit. That needs to be picked up. The free kicks, nothing much in it, 7 to 5. Umpires were a little bit handy with the whistle there. The stoppage on the hit-outs, 11 all clearances. The Crows are winning that one 12 to 6. Centre clearances, the Crows are dominating there as well. And around the grounds, pretty even, 5 to 7. Contested possessions, all pretty much similar. The Adelaide Crows copying a little bit more pressure from the Brisbane Lions. 21 turnovers to 17. Looking at the marks there, Brisbane controlling the ball a little bit more. A bit better that way, 30 to 20 marks. Marks inside 50, 3 to zip. You want to get your marks inside 50, folks, so that will give you a shot on goal. And of course, 4 goals 2 to 2 goals 2. Brisbane led all the way in that quarter. Just looking at the tackles there, Adelaide with more tackles there. I think Brisbane had the ball a little bit more often. Tackles inside 50, that's pretty good. As I said, that's pretty good pressure by the backmen, 4 and 7 respectively. And the 1%ers, they're doing their 1%ers pretty well. But we're going to get back to the game here because this game is about to get underway. And I'll take you back to the commentary. Thanks everyone for coming in. Enjoy the game with me. And let's hear the second quarter from the Gabba.
Alice, I know, but you've got to make the most of these opportunities, even though he caused that.
Yep.
He's been well held by Starcevic to this point. They've thrown him in the centre bounce to try and get him involved.
Well, they're doing pretty well at these stoppages, but they just cannot stop their transition footing.
McCluggage. Here he is again. Berry gave it to Neil. Wheels around, heads wide. Cameron on the move. Really had the motor to get there, and he hit fifth and got it on the chest with ease. Dropping back, Dan Curvis is having a good game. It's a possession 11.
Having a good season, this bloke. He's one of the improving Crows.
He was a pre-season draft pick. 2022 pre-season draft pick. Luke Nankervis, so they essentially got him for nothing. Wide ball. Mark to Rochelle. He got hands on it and then lays the tackle on Ashcroft.
Well, when Jordan Dawson's only had 2 and Rankin's only had 2, you know you've got a huge lever to pull if they can get themselves going, because they're 2 best mids and they're not getting near it at the moment.
Shoal, Michael Lanny, Saligo, and the leg was there, so the umpire won't call that insufficient intent. That was just insufficient vision. Great contest. Again, these 2 teams met round 9. It was a draw. Isaac Rankin in that game had 24 possessions, kicked 3 goals, had 5 clearances. He got off the chain in that. I haven't let him off the chain just yet. Rochelle has a little bounce. Milestone for him, game 50 this afternoon. Out wide, race on. Gatekeeper again.
Great tackle.
Harris Andrews lays the tackle to hold it there. Thou shalt not pass. Harris Andrews.
Well, they were given a favour there, the Lions. Michelle's a better player than that. He's got to find a target with that kick, unpressured. They're working hard with the tackle count, as you can see, but there's more to defensive pressure than just tackling.
Neil, McCluggage, Berry, Bailey, brilliant. Archie, tackle dropped to his legs. It was allowed to go. Butts, hard attack, took ball and body. Led, Cook, it's sleek at the moment. And it's fun. Nankervis, possession 12. And there he is again. Andrews with a fist away from Himmelberg.
And a good job the opposition defender from Nick Murray for the chase there. Yeah, Nick Murray's chase for a big bike, that was fantastic. Through the middle of the ground, the Lions were away.
As you called, Dwayne, I know you've seen Logan Morris being subbed into the game, so just up from the rooms, that Starcevic has failed that HIA, so that's this week, and obviously next week he's out of the game.
Yeah, big game next week as well. Lions, if they're to raise themselves up the ladder, they need to win this just to get into the 8. Lockie Neal did brilliantly. Cook just as well. He gave a straight back to Lockie Neal, who gave it to Dunkley, who gave it to Berry, who gave it to Winburn. Bailey blasts. Charlie didn't get. Michael Lanny. Charlie takes him on and puts it in row 15.
Danaher 3. Danaher 3 and Hickman behind him, but Danaher was the one. Just got to be better than that, Charlie Cameron. Hasn't had a great season. Mike Lanny, watching him closely.
He's got to be careful he doesn't try to make up for that slow start.
Joe! Slow down, Joe. Slow down, It's like they're burning each other back to back.
Yeah. Watch that Lions.
100%, Brownie. There's been about 4 or 5 blasts that should have gone short.
Keep an eye on Jared Berry, hobbling as well as responds to the gatekeeper again.
That's not a new trend, Jared. That happens a fair bit. Just see Jared Berry was limping after this contact in the middle of the ground.
Crushed.
Yes, so keep an eye on Berry as well, given they're already jumping with their sub. Morris out there. Beautiful time down. A blue for Rankin, given that he had the collision with Starcevic. Right. Wilmot. Superb. Dunkley with luggage. So top rope the boundary. Ashcroft, Neal. He's got the big boy coming at him. Danaher. Flicks it up. Gave it away. The big O. Got under that a little. Morris gets under that. Zorka left it behind. Rochelle over his head. McKenna. He can manufacture a dainty little kick from the Irishman.
He does push high up the field too. They like him to get into an aggressive attacking position. Colin McKenna. He did that times, followed the play up. He wasn't too worried about what was behind him. You had Ryan Lester as the goalkeeper behind him.
I like the fact that he was prepared to kick it to a teammate. It's been an issue. They need to address that, the lines. They blasted away. Charlie's trying to make up in one kick, potentially for a couple of poor games, but he's just got to do the right thing each time he gets the ball in his hand.
Played 73 games for the Crows, did Charlie Cameron. It's across the face. Stayed in the field of play for a split second.
Really ran out there, didn't he? Almost ran into the behind post.
Two rucks lope their way to it, and they'll do it again, the big boys.
In modern terms, that was unusual from Charlie Cameron to have a set shot, drop punt, whereas so many players, including Charlie, all but from the top of the goal square, will go around the body when they're that far out.
Two of them blocking for each other there. The rucks dance the dance show. Little too slick with the handoff. Guess who? Neil, Bailey, juggle, butts, thumped it away. Danger. Neil, you couldn't, could you? Neil bringing them to their knees.
He's putting on a ball handling clinic at the moment. I'm not just talking about that little snap around the corner. That was delightful. But his work inside with his hands. Have a look at this little pop over the shoulder there. That's not a throw. That is just a calculated handball. Gets it back, gets the angle right, gets the slide out, rule out, gets a trigonometry equation going, and he nails it. He has been in such hot form, and Lee's been trying to cope with him. This is just magic at work at the moment.
Magic in the commentary box too. Neil bringing them to their knees. I like that, Dwayne. Different night. I like that. What a start. He's a star. He's in tight work, right, Jared? It's as good as we've seen in a long period of time. You've got to play with the great Diesel Williams.
Yeah. It's at that level, without question.
Back in the middle now. Saligo side by side with Neil. Rayner, quick in off the square. Bailey, and guess who? Lockie Neal. So Saligo went ball chasing and didn't end up getting it. Reveal who they love, Bruce. Zorko can't get there ahead of Saligo.
I'd imagine they'd be reluctant to do so because Ben Keys kicked 2 goals in the first quarter, but I think he's best equipped to go with him. Fitness-wise, he does the pressure forward role. Hasn't played much in the midfield in recent seasons, but I think that's the move. Get Ben Keys into the middle onto Neil for a hard tag.
Was he at Brisbane when Neil was there?
Nah.
Bruce can't handle that.
But it hasn't really hurt them at the actual stoppage. If you just look at the scores, it's 1 goal apiece from stoppage. But around the ground, Neil is putting on a clinic, as we've said a few times. And there's...
because he's pushing forward.
He's doing
pushing
brilliant.
inside 50, so he's kicked 3 goals.
And there is Keys on cue. Van Lynchy spoke about maybe to do the job. Berry left it behind. Dowling with the flick, got it to Hinge, caught McCluggage, given an eternity. And the umpire said no. Not giving you any longer than that.
Yeah, they keep a close watch on Mitch Hinge. Good play this year for them, former Brisbane Lions player. It's rebounding off half-back and caused real problems to opposition, but only the 4 disposals today.
Actually, what do they do with Jordan Dawson to get him into the game with just 3 touches?
Yeah, I think that's one of those players. I think your teammates have got to go out of their way to get one of their best assets, the ball. So go backwards if you have to, but just find him. Get him feeling good about himself, because you need him up and going.
Very wide. Leicester can't control that, but he's up for a milestone as well. Ryan Leicester, 12th game in a few weeks. He's been a great survivor. Began the season again on the rookie list.
He's been an incredible servant. Look, shot about 5 years ago, just kept on hanging in there. And he's been terrific. His last 5 years, probably his best 5 years.
Yeah, absolutely, no question. Great team man as well.
This game 196 for Ryan Leicester. Adelaide's Berry to Dawson, who got a possession at least. Fletcher got it. Back to Sam Berry. And Zorko makes sure he knows he's been tackled. The 2 Berries.
On Ryan Leicester,
Sam?
I reckon 120 of those games has been on 1-year terms, 1-year contracts.
Well, he's on the rookie list now, so he wasn't the senior list, he's on the rookie list.
After his best year.
McCluggage long, down to her direction, dumped away. Morris. Joe on his left. Did you have anyone running past?
I had a couple of guys running the square. I think Lyman thought he might have popped it to the square, but
Kai Loman gave him a bit of feedback.
yeah, he did.
He doesn't mind a noun or verb. Does Kyle Loman. He's got some extrovert qualities, and he's a contender for the Rising Star as well. Having a pretty good year. Ashcroft, front, McKenna, handball, Murphy, Fletcher, pinballing around, and then Murphy extracts it to Shoal. Roll along the boundary. Walker, Cook, and Fogarty outside. This is within his repertoire. He went for the pass and he gave it straight to Jared Berry.
Torpedo.
Who buried it long in the Morris direction. Got it and goes, Logan Morris. Lyman, the man we spoke of, he knocked that to Charlie Cameron. What a team man he is.
Post. Really smart play by Logan Morris. Chose his footy IQ. Yeah, it should have been marked. It wasn't by Logan,
But that was the difference. And when this kid's come in, he said, okay, who can I actually make better here with my kick?
well, that's right, because there really hasn't been great composure from either side going inside their respective forward 50s.
That was poor old Charlie. That one deserved to go on. The post got in the way.
Walker starting to find it a bit. He blasts it in the direction of Fogarty. Got up, but Payne stood his ground. Did well. Fogarty, great follower. Back to Walker. Pumps it to the square. Berry gets up, put it to grass. Danger. Rochelle gave it away. Shoal, centering kick. Dawson's in the square. Off hands Murphy. Shut down by 3. Keys. He knows where they are with that in 2.
Put them on each other. Keys to Neil, 3 each. Let's have a kick-off. That has to happen with Lockie Neal. The Keys is doing some damage for. That might be why they're reluctant to throw him onto a midfield matchup. Let's just watch this.
This is where it unfolds. There was no
there.
yeah, no one worked out who was going to go and who was going to stay, and then the big fog just got hold of it, and it unfolded for them.
Here's the fumble. He's going to break the hoodoo, Ben Keys. There's been a bit of a hoodoo with the number 2 jumper for Adelaide since Andrew Jarman wore it. A rocky history. John Mason, Tim Cook, Evan Hewitt, Matthew Sher, Brad Moran, Wayne Carey.
Spoke pre-game, Dwayne, just about the challenge for Brisbane, especially if they fly for the ball in their defence fifth and the ball hits the ground. Not blessed with lockdown small defenders. Now Starcevich is off with the HIA. Just need to watch those ground level balls.
But Dunkley extracts it, and getting back Shoal, who's playing a pretty big role. This will be possession 11 for him.
It's clever by Berry, hooking it into the line of his teammate. Didn't quite get the full connection.
Michael Lenny, Sam Berry. Smith, the 1-2 with Murray. Fogarty in a wrestle. Wilmot, third man in. And he knew exactly what he wanted to do, Harris Andrews. Take it to the boundary.
Good player, this young fellow, Wilmot Brownie. I suspect he's going to go into the middle at some stage, but geez, making a mark across that half-back line.
He's runs well. He's good in the air. Playing the wing as well. Going to Ben Keys, it's probably a good move as well. Keys kicked 3 goals already, he's been on fire.
Short throw in. O'Brien knew what he wanted to do, but he left it behind. Fogarty flicks it out. Laird. Shelley, centering unselfish kick to the square to Walker. Got it.
Yep.
It's good effort there by Cook just to get involved with Harris Andrews there, just to create enough of interference so Tex was able to have the free run of the ball against Ryan Lester. It was slightly small, hadn't he?
And this is where you see the problem when you put your opportunities inside your own forward 50.
Just see that by Cook, the early hit.
Yep.
Just unbalances Harris Andrews. That's a team assist.
He's a good player, that young kid.
Still got a presence, Taylor Walker. 2 goals from 5 kicks against the Giants last week, and that's a big moment goal to pull it back to a single-figure margin.
Yeah, good fight back here by the Crows, and aided and abetted by the front half players of Brisbane, who have been all trying to kick goal of the year instead of just getting a goal, whichever way it unfolds. But this is excellent work. Nice centering kick. And as you said, Brownie, the young kid Cook gets rid of Harris Andrews, and that allows Tex, who's lost a bit of spring over the journey. He just takes a solid mark.
Found a bit of form. It's a good form in recent years, of course. Won his first All-Australian jumper last year, 76-34 he kicked, including 19 goals total in 2 games against the Eagles. He can get it going. And the umpires called that back. Himmelberg in the ruck now for Adelaide. And Danaher the second ruck for the Lions against him.
It's been a positive for Danaher all through that year.
Umpire's gone down again. And they're going to be a free kick paid here because of who was running through him. And Danaher shinned it.
Oh, good intercept. This kid is really good in the front half.
Caught by Lionel.
He applies pressure. He's got great skill. He runs hard. He's been a great inclusion.
Yeah, Dowling, 3 games so far for his career. It's only early on. They picked 43 in 2022. And Loman, a little bit of experience on him, picked 20, 2021. This is 3rd season, but because he only played 8 games before this year, is eligible to win the Rising Star this year in year 3. Played every game this year. Had a concussion test during the game last week, but passed it to come back on and be available this week. Across the face. Hinge.
We kicked 5 goals, Brisbane, and 3 of them have come from their centremen. So the forward line collectively have struggled.
They wasted some kids.
Have they? Right.
Yeah, not for a time.
Murray's turned that over. Kick was straight to Charlie Cameron.
There's your chance, Charlie.
Let's see where Charlie runs this time. Ran too far out last set shot about 10 minutes ago. From a similar angle, a little bit further out. Just needs to ignite his season, Charlie Cameron.
Yep.
He also signed a new contract extension with Save the Lions, 3-year extension to the end of 2028, a week or so ago. In his struts, he's done it again.
There's a lot going through that head at the present time.
Hipwood got up. He knocked it central to keep it in play. They can rush it if they want to. And Murray, who turned the last one over, kicks it back to a dangerous spot. Dunkley knocked it down, got it back, kicked the goal. He's a done Josh Dunkley.
Josh Dunkley, he's been fantastic as well. Jared, highest position on the ground, 19 disposals. And the goal there has been outstanding. He's one of the few players in the competition that runs as hard defence when he does offence. He's a fantastic player. He can play a tag. You're a great team man.
He's got a kicking efficiency of 70, Brownie. But despite all these forwards that have paid to kick goals, this bloke who hasn't got the pure kicking style goes through with a mung and kicks it straight through the middle. And the smile on his face says it all.
I feel like Charlie Cameron, Jared, for some of those set shots, he almost needs the bumper bars up. You know when you go to the 10-pin bowling alley and the bars go up, that's what he needs to keep him in a straight line.
Yep.
Keep the ball on track.
Yeah, I think he's got to clear his mind. He's got about a million things he's thinking about going into goal.
Yeah.
Just go back and kick it, Charlie. It's you've done all your career.
Dunkley's had his 2 best possession games of the year the last 2 weeks, 32 and 32. Oh, how's that for a pound down on the run? That was a clinic to Neil. There's a holding free, and it's going to the Lions.
Well, we will go back and replay that because it was a great little left-hand hook from the Big O. It's a battle of the Big O's, as you said, Dwayne. There's a Big O trophy at the end of it.
That's the sort of stuff you do at training or pre-game, Jared.
Yeah, no pressure there. We know goal kicking was the problem for them in the first half of the season. They sorted that out, but we want to see it creep back in this back half of the year.
Crows cut it back to a single-digit margin. Hipwood.
Beautiful.
Back out to the biggest margin of the game.
Even the goal umpire had a smile on his face there, Brownie, as it went over his head. He thought that was superb, but Big O and Lockie Neal combining together to get a textbook clearance from the middle, going straight to the forward line. It's the ruckman hits it to the rover. A little good block there. Then down to Lockie Neal, who pinged it.
Must have been really good. Wasn't a lot in that one.
No.
We finished though. Just their execution went a bit orderly, especially going inside 50 in this quarter. Probably all game, actually. But Eric Hughes had a good few weeks. Good finish there.
Flung in the air, the two big O's go at it again, and Dunkley goes and gets it again. To half forward, bouncing ball.
Well played.
Good attack from Keane. Little bounce, sizes them up, caught some fingertips on the way through. They need this guy to fire. Rankin, Fogarty. Himmelberg lace out with a ribbon on.
Well, that was just beautiful football. It came through from the Irishman who read it best, and it was just a travelator from there.
Beautiful field kick, Darcy Fogarty as well. Yeah. That was a good set shot.
A lot of the great goal kickers are great field kicks as well. Taylor Walker's been one of the best.
Yeah, absolutely, on both field.
Big moment now for Elliot Himmelberg. Never in doubt. The Crows are not going to give this one up.
It's a good response.
Yeah,
Hung
they
in
did
there.
it. Yep.
Yeah, they've hung in there, no question about it. Early on in the first quarter, early in the second quarter. They looked in trouble, the Adelaide Crows, but they've boxed on, they've completed. Good transition there. Better execution going inside 50. They've suffered a bit similar to Brisbane with their execution once they go inside, but that was good by Foggy. He just summed it up.
It's a big one-on-one, a great one-on-one win by Rankin. You ever seen a better both-sided kick than Tex Walker?
Well, Treadrow was very good as well at Port Adelaide champion. He was six zips and a bounces this quarter to Brisbane. Adelaide needs to turn the tables here.
Good bounce to restart it. The two Russ collide.
They're just winning at the moment. Free kick to Brisbane. So Oscar McInerney just giving fresh use to his midfielders at the moment, which is causing real problems for the Adelaide mids and putting the Adelaide defenders under enormous pressure.
So Oscar won a free out of that ruck contest, which Riley O'Brien didn't know was there. Riley's going to try and get this. He won't get there in time. Bumped away. Ashcroft ran into a brick wall. Good tackle by Saligo. Brought down Dunkley, stopped him from getting away. Huge 6 minutes and 52 coming up for half-time. Lions are out of the 8. They'll be back in if they win this. McInerney got a handball out. Dawson, Keane, Fogarty couldn't mark it. Fletcher crumbs it.
Good hands.
Wilmot, Zorko sits it on the head a little bit of Ashcroft, and then it went between the legs of Fletcher. Zorko goes back in. Dawson goes back in. The umpire will come back in. Adelaide began the round 14th. They can finish their season strongly as well. Another knockout in the direction of Neal. Top of the square, unselfish. Rayner got up there and Archie's marked it anyway.
Yeah, he's good. Yes, Archie kicked forward the game a few weeks ago against the Adelaide Crows. Certainly can do this.
He had a bit of competition too.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
Rayner man came from miles, came from 5 deep. It was a hell of a hit out too. I'm assuming it was deliberate. But that is just a great kick to the dangerous spot.
Settle things down again. That's goal for goal at the moment. It's a fun watch.
I don't really see a bounce here, Jared. Simple as that. So Adelaide mids need to get together and work out what their defensive plan is. They need to put the fire out for Brisbane. They've got all the momentum at the moment. It's because of this man, Oscar McInerney. He's on fire just at will. Riley O'Brien's a strong competitive ruckman. He needs to do a better job. That's when the midfielders can really get proactive and get on the move, as we saw there locking in on. It's hard if you're trying to stop him.
Well, Billy Dowling will go back and look at that and ask himself how he got it wrong. Because he let Lockie Neal out the back.
What are you saying here, though? You're the midfield coach, Jared. You need to stop this momentum.
Well, Ronnie O'Brien's got to neutralise. That's the first thing. Bring it to the deck.
Well, he gave away a free in the last ruck contest he didn't think was there. That was the strange part. Laird, Dawson, Smith. Kick wide under pressure. Fletcher puts it to grass. Cook was right with him. Dowling, Berry, Cook. Rochelle set up the last one for the Crows. Puts it out in front of Tex. And Isaac nearly collide. Tex did well there in the end. I think he protected Isaac at the last second.
Yeah, he saw him right as well.
I'm going to technical booze, though.
Just to go back to your point about the stoppage, Brent, in the first quarter, the Crows didn't concede a goal to Brisbane from stoppage, but in this term, it's been 3 goals straight.
One move they have done, Jared, is Jordan Dawson's gone out of the midfield and has pretty much matched up with Dunkley. He's out on the wing now.
Booze did not faze him, and he gives him a shoot.
I love this. So, I know Brisbane Lions supporters are angry because of what happened with Starspitch, but at the end of the day, he's still involved in this game, Isaac Rankins. So we need to put that behind him and go, okay, you know, I might be out next week, but at the moment, while I'm in this game, I need to keep my head in the game and help my team get the victory. And to be able to do that, steal himself, copying it from the crowd over the fence, show the resilience, go back and kick the goal from a tough angle.
Yep.
Tremendous boost for his teammates.
Spot on, Brownie, yep. Shush is the signal, and he's lighting it up.
Well, he hasn't seen the vision yet. The MRO will slow it down and speed it up and look at all the different angles. Isaac doesn't know yet what the MRO's decision will be. He's got to play it out. And you're right, Brownie. He looks like he's up for the fight. Berry mesmerised a lot of them. Planted his foot into it long. Off hands, huge crumb. Neal got there, gave it away. McCluggage, the hero last week. Might get a bounce here. He doesn't. Kicked the winning goal last week, Hugh McCluggage. So signed a few big guns. Hugh, a 7-year contract extension at the end of last month. Down the spine they travel. Dangerous. Fortune favours the brave. Rochelle, Michaelani, Rankin. Dawson. Good idea to start giving him the ball, get him into it. Smith. Dowling. Long. Walker direction. Can he get the run out of it? He can't. Payne smacked it away. Ashcroft. Wilmot. Berry saw it stripped. The other Berry goes and gets Sam Berry. And then he's got Rankin. Fletcher picked his pocket. Ashcroft, a little look away. Charlie. Caught. Got it away. Fletcher. But it should be coming back. Michael Annie.
Good heat from the Crows. They're right in this game.
Laird. Sam Berry in game 50. Sizes it up. Lions getting players back. Got Walker and O'Brien along in the square. He goes to Murray. To the leads. Payne got there, flicked away. Held it long enough. He controlled it. Waste no time. Jarrett Berry. Wilmot, he does like to go. Walker stops him for going. Payne. Fletcher. Started as a sub last week, came on the 3rd, so should be fresh. Jasper Fletcher, short to Payne again.
They need to stay on here, the Adelaide Crows. So Brisbane do this quite often, and they just wait for that one to open up. They wait for an opposition player to drop off zone-wise, and they'll cut you through the middle. So they've been very disciplined here, Adelaide Crows. So far, they need to stay on it.
Payne. A few whistles to tell him to get on with it to Neal.
A couple of 100,000 people telling him to get on with it too, Glenn.
A few of those around the planet watching this game, enjoying it at the moment, and then a little stalemate between the two. Rankin, that's probably ball, you'd think. He had an eternity.
That's good by Adelaide, so number one for Marks, Brisbane this year.
Laird to Dawson, got away from Bailey, handed it back, then Curvis hits a pretty good spot with the kick, needs a leap up, Himmelberg, chest out.
Fantastic discipline, so they would have known that Brisbane are number one for Marks in the competition. They know they want to, at times, just control the tempo of the game. So, but you need to, all 18 players need to be invested defensively and involved. And they were that time, the Adelaide Crows. Matthew Nix will be wrapped with that, and I think he'd be making mention of this at half time. Just finish off here. Himmelberg would be a tremendous boost to his team.
So twice the Lions have pushed this lead out to 21 points in this quarter. Himmelberg to bring it back to just 10. Wasted. It's the crowd's delight. Now I've got a minute to play with the Lions. Zorko has it in his hands. See what he wants to do. See how aggressive they are. There's the short. Ashcroft. Dangerously, but McKenna went back quickly. And now that skims its way to Fletcher. Back to McKenna. Down to 40 seconds wide. Berry. Bailey. Neal. This will be possession 23 for the half for Lockie Neal. Danaher. So will they take it on here and try and at least get it inside 50 for a mark at 10? Joe could blast it if he wants. Seconds are ticking down. Here he goes. Just floats it up long. Dunkley. The big O. From the scramble, down to 5. Rankin. Needs to be good. Was good. Got to Murray. Got to Cook. And they got to the siren. Stayed within this contest. The Adelaide Crows a couple of times in that second. The Lions were threatening to rip it away and sail away. But it's half-time in the final game of round 17, and it's a ripper. Lions at home by 15.
All right, so the end of the second quarter, and it is a ring-a-ding-ding-ding game. Both scoring 4 goals in that second half. How you going, Paul? What's happening? I see Melbourne had that big victory over the West Coast Eagles. Yeah, 0.01%, I think it is, behind the Magpies. That's it. Collingwood dropped down to 9th now. Only by percentage, of course. 4% behind the Giants, both on 36 points. Melbourne on 36 points. But yeah, 0.1%. That is it. So there we go. And the hard thing about next week is Collingwood have got Geelong. Giants have got Richmond, so you would expect the Giants to win that. Port Adelaide, you got Gold Coast. Essendon have got Melbourne, so that'll be a good game. Hawthorn and Fremantle, that'll be a good game. Don't know who we want to win that one. Next week, Carlton have got the Bulldogs. Good game. But there we go. 4 goals, 4 in that quarter to the Lions. It was a feast of goals there. And, of course, 4 goals, 1 there to the Crows. Let's see if I can put this over. Let's see if this is updated. There we go. We got the update on the stats, on the players' stats here. Let's have a look at who's going well. I'll tell you what, Lockie Neal is having a great game there today. He's the leading disposal getter on the ground with 23 disposals. He's had 11 kicks, 12 handballs. He's had 4 marks and 6 clearances. And with that, he's kicked 3 goals. He kicked a beautiful snap from the boundary. And he's playing one of his great games, Lockie Neal. He's probably in line for possibly his 3 votes best on ground if he keeps going this way. Josh Dunkley is having another good game today. He's got 21 disposals, 11 kicks, 10 handballs. He's had 3 marks, 1 tackle, 3 clearances. He's doing well. Luke Nankervis for Adelaide. Next best on 14. Rory Laird on 14. Brodie Smith on 12. Who else have we got? Hugh McCluggage, 12 there for Brisbane. Let me just slide this down so the folks can have a bit of a look at the stats. Will Ashcroft there for Brisbane. He's got 12. Who else we got? Zach Bailey for Brisbane. He's got 11. He's got 7 kicks, 4 handballs. He's got a mark in that with a couple of tackles as well. Let's head on down there. We'll go and see Taylor Walker for the Crows. He's had 8 possessions now. I think he only had about 3 or 4 in that quarter. He's now up to 6 kicks, 2 handballs. He's had 4 marks, and he's put 1 through the big sticks. He's got 1 goal there. Same as Isaac Rayner. He's got a goal there. We'll have a look at the goal scorers in just a moment as we slide down and look at some of the stats, more stats. Dane Zorko, he's having a quiet game today. He's only had 6 touches. He's had 5 kicks, 1 handball. He hasn't scored any today. He's had 2 marks and a couple of tackles. Just a quiet game there. Ryan O'Brien there for the Crows. The ruckman, he's had 3 disposals. He's had 3 kicks. He's had 1 mark. He's had 5 tackles, which is pretty good. And he's had 20 hitouts. That's right, 20 hitouts. So that's some of the numbers there. Oscar McKerney, the opposing ruck, he's had 7 disposals. He's had 4 kicks, 3 handballs. He's had 1 tackle as well and 19 hitouts, 2 clearances. So both ruckmen doing their job for their respective teams. Let's go a little bit slower so people can have a little bit of a look at the players' individual stats there. But as I said, this is a great game. I'm looking forward to the second half here. I think it's going to be a ring-a-ding-ding cracker game. Goal for goal. There we go. So, yeah, the leading disposal getter on the ground is Lockie Neal with 23. Let's have a look at the goal scorers here. And the goal scorers, Lockie Neal on top with 3. Ben Keys there with Adelaide. He's also got 3. Cam Rayner, 2 goals to him. Of course, he was the first goal scorer of the game. And then we've got singles to Taylor Walker, Isaac Ranke, Eric Hipwood, Elliot Himmelberg. We've got 1 to Dunkley. Achi has got 1. All right, so if you're into the fantasy, AFL fantasy points, so we put there, fantasy points, there we go. Lockie Neal, of course, is going to be leading the way there. He's got 88 points, so he's in for a big bag of points there. If you got the fantasy game, you play that one there, 88. Josh Dunkley, 70. And the 2 leading possession getters on the ground, they're doing quite well. O'Brien next best on 52 with Murray. Let me just slide that down. If you got the fantasy points, of course, this is the row for the fantasy points here, folks, the first row. And you'll see your points. Let me just put that down. It'll give you a bit of a chance to have a look and see what type of numbers your players have got. There we go. So I'm just having a bit of a look on the player who's doing the most running, getting the most, some of the most running. There we go. Joe Danaher, meters gained, 286 for Joe Danaher for meters gained. So he's getting the ball forward quite well. Nick Murray from Adelaide, also 307 metres gained. But Lockie Neal still in the danger there, 312. Let's have a little bit of a look at the team stats here. There we go. Disposals, all pretty well tied up, 189, 181. Kicks, 120 to 100. So everything is reasonably even, like the game's playing out. As I said, there's not much in this game, 68, 81. Inside 50s, not too much difference there. They're both having plenty of opportunities there. 29 Brisbane, 23 Adelaide. The efficiency is still reasonably good at 72 and 76%. The efficiency inside 50, I think that actually picked up a little bit from the first quarter, so that's good there. I suppose that picked up because they did both kick 4 goals each in that quarter. Free kicks going the Brisbane's way at the moment, 12 to 6. Stoppages, the hit-outs pretty similar. Clearances similar. Centre clearances pretty even there at 9 to 6. Stoppages around there. Let's have a look at the possession. Contested possessions, pretty even. As I said, this game is pretty even across the board, with only a 15-point difference in the score. Tells you just why. And of course, Brisbane are taking their opportunities to kick a little bit straighter and get those extra goals. Marks 52. Just chipped it around a little bit at the end of the quarter. Brisbane's, they piled on a few extra marks there. Inside 50 marks, 6-4. I think they had about 4 each from memory, 4 to 5 or something like that after the first quarter. So they both need to lift there. The pressure's still good. They just need to lower the eyes, find their target well inside their forward 50. Let's have a look at the defensive tackles, 21 to 31. Tackles inside 50. Adelaide bringing the heat there with 8. They're nearly up to their yearly average of 10.4 at the moment, and Brisbane are just under for them. Let's have a look at the general, the bouncers, 2 bounces each. 1%ers, they're both doing the 1%ers, of course. That's what they need to do. You've got to be doing those little extras. And of course, the interchange, 36-39. Brisbane used half. Adelaide just over a little bit of a half. There we go, folks. That is the stats up until half time. And there we go. That is the scoreline. 8-6-50 for Brisbane. 6-3-39 Adelaide. 10 minutes before we get underway in the second half here. Ryan, what's going on today, Squire? What's happening? What's happening? Salvatore Spade, how you going? Brisbane need to win this to knock Collingwood out of the 8. They certainly will. Looking at the live ladder, Brisbane will be 7th. Brisbane will be 7th if they win this game, and that will put the Magpies down into 9th position. But we're still hoping, you know what, we're still hoping for... Oh, you did a live stream today? Oh, good stuff, Ryan, good stuff. Yeah, I'm doing a bit of painting today, so I've been a little bit busy on the paint. Got to paint a room for the missus, so... you know, got to get a few points in the bag. So there you go. Yeah, busy. Still painting at the moment. After this game, we'll be back into it. So that should be fun. That should be fun. Haven't done much painting for a while, but it's good to get back into it. There we go. You know, it's good fun. You paint the wall and you get paint yourself as well. So it's good fun. Did you do your live today? Did you go out for a walk today? Did you, Ryan? You went out for a walk? 8 minutes before the start of the third quarter here, folks. We're not too far away. Don't forget, if you haven't put your vote in, who's going to win today's game, don't forget to head on up there. Vote to let us know who you chose. So far we've got 23 votes. 70% have gone for the Lions to win this, 30% for the Crows. But as we all know, the game is not over until the final siren. And there's only 15 points in it here at the Gabba. Both teams playing good football, so it's anyone's game. As I said, we're in for a big second half here, so stay tuned for that. Don't go anywhere, as the second half will be getting underway in about 7.5 minutes time. Oh, you went for a walk today? Nice. Oh, nice. Was it nice weather there? I'll tell you what, it's not bad here. It's still 11 degrees here, so it's not too bad. It's not too bad. It's better than 4 degrees. It was cold last night. It was cold. Paul's going to do some editing tonight or tomorrow. I know. That'll be good, Paul. Some new vids coming from your way. That'll be good to see. Some new vids there. It's, I tell you what, it's always hard when you just get back and you have a little bit of an afternoon siesta. And you think, what'll I do? What'll I do? Should I edit, or should I just relax and go to the night market and get something nice to eat? Although it is, what is it, 2:30 over your way. So possibly you'll be out there having some nice lunch, which is good. Oh, it was cold for you today up there. Wow, cold up there in Coffs Harbour. There we go. Maybe you got the cold weather and ours was a bit better. As I said, what is it? It's 11 degrees here at the moment, 5:35 p.m. Melbourne time. I think our top weather probably only got to about maybe 13 degrees today. That was probably about it. So, but you know what? As long as the nights aren't too cold, happy campers. Happy campers. Absolutely. Absolutely. Mark L says, go Lions. They're going well. They're going well, the Lions. They're in front, as I said, by 15 points. 2 goals, 3. They're leading the way. We just have a little bit of a look. Let's have a little bit of an update. And this update for the other matches on at the moment, folks, they're 12 minutes into the final quarter. St Kilda is 12-4-76. Trail Sydney 11-4-80. St Kilda only 4 points behind at the 12-minute mark in the final quarter there at Marvel Stadium. They're coming home with a big rush. It's been all St Kilda in the last term. St Kilda with the last 2 behinds. They're pressing, but can St Kilda get the job done today? Close the gap. They've closed the gap. They were 19 points down at 3/4 time. St Kilda in this final quarter so far have kicked 3 goals straight to Sydney 3 behinds. 4 points the difference there at Marvel Stadium. St Kilda trail 4 points to Sydney. There's an interesting game. There's a good game. But I think we're going to have a crackerjack of a game here in the second half, which is going to get underway in about 4.5 minutes, folks. In about 4.5 minutes. So we're just waiting for the commentators to come back up on screen, and then we'll put the commentators to take over and lead us into the third quarter here at the Gabba in Brisbane. Alrighty, welcome in to everyone who's in the background just listening and joining us here on the live stream today. AFL football here, Brisbane Lions versus Adelaide. We've got a nice close game here. Half time here at the Gabba, where the Lions leading 8-6-54 to Adelaide 6-3-39. 15 points a difference. And we're going to get underway with the third quarter in just over 3.5 minutes time. So we're not too far away before the commentators come back up on the live, and we'll get back to them as soon as they do, and we can hear their thoughts and they can take us into the third quarter. All right, so just having a little bit of a sneak peek over there at Marvel Stadium, and we see St Kilda have hit the front. They've kicked a goal. St Kilda are now 13-4-82. They lead the Sydney Swans 11-14-80. 14.5 minutes into the final quarter there. Go Saints, go. That would be, I think, one of the big upsets. St Kilda have missed a goal and have kicked another behind, so St Kilda now go on to 13-5-83. Lead Sydney 11-14-80. St Kilda by 3 points at Marvel Stadium with about 12 minutes to go in that game over there. Could that be the upset of the round with St Kilda winning that game? Wowee. That would be the upset of the season. Who would have ever thought Sydney could lose 2 games in a row? Who would have ever thought that? Yeah, I'm keeping an eye on that game too, Paul. It's a pretty cool. They're 16 minutes into the last quarter. St Kilda are leading by 3 points. By 3 points. Wow. Let me have a look. Let me put... Where is it? All right. So while we're waiting for this game to get back underway, we're about a minute and a half out. I'm just having a little bit of a look at the other game. Ball's been thrown up. Rucks both dive on it. It's another ball up between Sydney and St Kilda. They've got 9 minutes, 45 seconds left to go in that game over there. All right, folks, I'm going to take you back to the commentators. We're going to get back underway here at the Gabba between the Lions and the Crows. Here we go.
Number of accidents.
Scoreboard has stayed where we need it, and maybe that's the bullets that we've dodged where they've had some shots on goal, but we've had our opportunities as well. We've got to get that midfield right. Centre bounce killed us that quarter. If we can get that right, we'll be back in it.
And could you roll the dice early with the sub?
We'll keep an eye on that, exactly. He's a great player, so we'll try and get him in as early as we can.
Thanks for your time.
Thanks, mate.
So Matthew next, fifth season as coach, 18th, 15th, 14th and 10th last year. Currently 14th, the Adelaide Crows. Still a lot to play for, and still with the stuff to use, Zach Taylor. And they're about to lock down on the two hot Brisbane commodities, Lockie Neal and Josh Dunkley in there. We see side by side. Looks like the captain has the job, Jordan Dawson.
Well, if it is that to be the case, it's not a bad move because he's struggling to get the footy himself, and he's had just 7 possessions. Somebody may come off the wing. It may just be a positional situation with his bounce. So we'll wait and see what happens post the bounce. But they've also got to worry about that fellow on screen, Josh Dunkley, who's also been red hot, kicked the goal, really important goal. But he highlighted what we highlighted. Brisbane should be much further in front. They've kept the door open for the Crows. Can they walk through it?
Second half underway. O'Brien, McInerney both had a little piece of it. Neal forced to lay a tackle on Shoal. Holds it up.
Well, that's important, just to at least nullify the centre bounces. 8-1 they were beaten in that second quarter. Centre bounce, Adelaide Crows.
Looks like Murphy's going to go to Lockie Neal after the bounce.
And now they can get plenty of players about it, obviously, after the initial bounce to open the half. Everyone can get in there and it's congested. Laird, Smothered, got it back, straight up in the air. Mark won't be paid. Fists go. Berry gets. Tried to duck out of the Dunkley tackle, couldn't. Another ball upcoming.
And there is Lockie Neal, and there's Lockie Murphy. So we've got a couple of Lockies going head to head.
Yeah, and he's trying to lock him down, Jared. I like it. From the hack. Hipwood got there. Spilled it to the deck. Dunkley. Shoal. Flicked out to Wilmot. Little hesitation step. Then he goes long and puts it into Loman's pocket.
It's a pretty good kick, though. They're also going pretty hard on the lockdown on Josh Dunkley, it would appear, with Sam Berry. A bit of friendly fire there for Lockie. Just missed his head, luckily.
One way of stopping it. In a great battle, this ruck battle, as they dance their way to the Sharon, tying each other up. Dunkley dragged that in, hoping the umpire might pay a free kick against Billy Dowling.
So it's a big opportunity now for Will Ashcroft to come in and fill the breach if one of the other two mids gets shut down.
Rayner. Archie, he kept that alive. No, he didn't.
I think Josh Dunkley's ever been hard tagged before, because he may be one who struggles with it.
Well, yeah, he would have had a huge amount of experience.
Yeah.
Certainly know from a technique point of view what to do, because he does a good job when he's asked to do it. Fantastic addition to Brisbane. He's a great player.
Yeah.
You go to when you're at the ground, you can see him run, just how hard he works defensively.
It's like there's a lot of one-on-ones.
He's one of the great triers.
Yeah.
He just gives everything every week.
Well, Berry is going to make life more difficult for him.
Back into play. McCluggage dragged down the umpires, earning his pay at the moment. Dunkley, most possessions ever in a game, 41. He can accumulate. Great career with the Dogs as well. Smith tries to get it out of the danger area, and Neil got it off hands. To Zorko. It's a pretty good spot with that kick, not central. Berry caught. 7:20 by Dunkley. The umpire says ball up.
Right there every time, like landing on Charlie Cameron.
Stalemate to start it. Two rucks lock arms. Dunkley very careful not to get into his back.
Right on there. I think he'd actually relish the matchup. In respect to the opposition coach has shown. Berry now going to.
Massive players around. Straight down palm to Dunkley. Lyman! Oh my goodness! Cobra Kai out of nowhere.
Well, they've been pressing. They've had the ball in their forward half for the almost entirety of the near 2 minutes this quarter's been going. And this bloke's been threatening. Have a look at him coming from behind. He's still behind. He's still tracking. He's sniffing a goal here now, and he just gets it on his boot. That is just pure wizardry around the goal mouth.
I think the thing that Chris Fagan will love, Jared, is the fact they've converted the inside 50 opportunities, stoppages and turnover. They've scored 5 goals now from 450. Whether that be turnover or stoppage situation, that's been a problem.
Yep. It's a big
First half of the year.
Big number.
Yeah, just their execution. All at the post. Left by Loma.
Young man Curtis, who he had stacked the possessions in the second quarter. He unfortunately lowered his colours there, but he was a bit stiff. He was only a metre off his man, and he pulled out the magician impact.
And the restart. Berry went and got it. They got him. Maybe a bit high. No. Free kick not paid. Hands it back. Flung in the air for the two to go at it again. Murphy, a little knockdown. McCluggage went and got it. Waited until he was slung out in the direction of a teammate. And that was Neil, who goes long inside 50. Spilt by Butts. Danger. Gets it back. Smith made it now Curtis's problem. Here's Joe. Bumped on the kick, and he had Loman running shotgun.
He must just have day blindness, because he was sitting there right in his vision. So left-hand handball, Joe. You've got to give.
Day blindness. Absolutely. Yeah, no, he's had one of those games, hasn't he, Joe?
Loman just kicked the goal from that pocket as well. Loman's only in game 24, but he's prepared to let Joe know in game 193, maybe. Rayner through the traffic, got it away. Loman's going to go again. He's in his pocket, got it, lost it. Had his pocket picked. Scholl got it out of there, and great Mark Murphy in front of Neil.
Stand. Play on.
Pumps it down the wing to Walker. Got rid of his man Lester. Good grab. Waste no time. Fogarty his target. Got it. It's got Dawson running for him. Ignored that option.
Probably need to give that one out. Brisbane better fill up the defensive 50. Put all the numbers back.
Hinge, Berry. 21 points to margin. That's the biggest margin of the game. Huge kick for Michael Annie now. Loads up and misses. To kick himself a goal as well, Max Michael Annie. Big opportunity there, and Zorko wastes no time. Gets it to Lester. Not required. McCluggage. Wide ball. Dowling got there with a fist, but he knocked it in the direction for the run of Andrews to reveal Bruce over the head of Loman. He's been cooked a few times, Guy. Murray's got it. Bumped in the back on the kick. Scholl's got it anyway.
No, I was not surprised he's frustrated. I mean, he did try to hit him up there, Bruce, but it was a dud kick.
Down the spine, Berry.
You're a bit stiff. If Bruce gives you a dud kick, Brownie.
Yeah, he's normally a beautiful kick.
Out wide. Dawson. Isaac. Inside kick to Tex. He overcooks it. Andrews gets it. Down the Staples. Archie knocked away from him. O'Brien to Himmelberg. Hinge. Spear pass is good to Keys. Has he got this kick in him? Doesn't think so. Hands it off to a man who has. Hinge.
Just challenging Brisbane now. The game's been pretty fast for this first 5 minutes of the quarter. See a few Brisbane Lions mids with their hands on their knees. Good running by the Adelaide Crows, forcing the Brisbane Lions to defend. This guy Mitch Hing's had a pretty good season. He can get pretty high up the field as well as a half-backer.
Only the 1 goal so far this season, 6 goals, 7 career. But again, plenty of shots on this ground, given it was his old home ground for a little while. That's drifting across the face for another behind. They've had some chances to be a lot closer.
Isaac. Take nothing.
Zorka. New McCluggage. Archie in a one-on-one out wide. In Jarchi, and they dance their way to the boundary line. Archie slower to get up, but he's okay.
Riley, Oscar, here you guys, long way back.
See there, the Archie's just kept an eye on Hinge today. Just trying to restrict his running off half-back.
Knocked down off toes. Rayner tried to get away from Smith, slung around the full 360. Dowling cut it off to Laird, to Keys. Picked it up with his bootlaces back to Dowling. Sends it in the Himmelberg direction. He was half held. He marked it anyway.
Could have almost been a free kick, but he completed the mark. Just starting to get out into open space now. The Adelaide Crows just challenging the Brisbane Lions midfielders and putting the Lions defenders under pressure, getting them running back to goals. All defenders are uncomfortable running back to goal where you can't keep your eye on the ball. Fantastic mark.
In theory, the Crows have got nothing to lose. Lions have got a lot to lose. They'll be outside the 8 tonight if they lose this. Couple of skip steps and thrills it. Kicks the goal and kicks the door back open.
Yeah, great effort there. Win contest head of the ball, go a long way towards winning. So good, strong contested mark against one of the competition's premier defenders. So good there, just to be able to chain out. So instead of just bomb kicking, which Harris Andrews wants you to do, and obviously Ryan Lester back there to support, but instead, handball, chain out, or use that short kick to good effect. It did that, identify the targets well, just see that, use that handball up, that puts their Brisbane Lions defenders under pressure.
Elliot Himmelberg, only 3 games last year. This is 6th game this season, playing to resurrect his career. Had the thought of leaving at the end of last year, but stuck around. And the Crows are sticking around in this one from the restart. Palm down the near direction, but he couldn't pounce on it. Reville does. Got away from Cook. Cameron half held. Put the speed. Put him in his vapor trail and miss.
Great chase by Martin. Just affected him enough there. Just when they jump attack from behind.
Well, Matthew Nix conceded that they got away with one, that Brisbane had butchered a number of opportunities inside forward 50. They're still in the launch pad. They can still get hold of this game, the Crows, if they can just make the Lions pay for these blemishes.
So Dowling to Murray to Butts. Keys. Cook. Still an eternity left. There's plenty of twists and turns in this. All the way back he travels. Lions have led from the outset. Adelaide's never seen the lead. Michael Lenny bounce, uses the space out wide. So a couple of their young guns like Dowling started to have an impact, and they've got Zach Taylor as their sub to bring on still the Crows. That's a good grab, dropping back by Saliga.
This quarter 17-2, uncontested marks in favour of the Adelaide Crows. They're not bomb kicking, using up their numbers. They're starting to get out in space, challenge the Brisbane Lions, mids especially, and their high half forwards to chase. Very good message, obviously, by the Adelaide coach at half time, and they've been able to execute.
And it might be some of their young guns, not the older guys, if they are to steal this one. Jake Saligo won the Showdown medal this year, can produce a big performance. And that's a big goal.
Well, he's had an impact. He's had a couple of centre clearances that turned into scores. Blocking there, you can see him discussing there with the coach They can feel the pressure, and they're just a couple of goals in front. This game is absolutely on the line right now, and the Adelaide Crows just needed to readjust a couple of things. They've done that, Brownie, and this goal now has opened it right up. Great kick.
Adelaide have had nearly twice as many disposals this quarter than Brisbane. So Brisbane desperately need to get their hands on the pill. Made it a little bit harder, the fact that Lockie Neal's on the bench having a rest. But they need to lift. Adelaide had a really good game style here early in this third quarter. Dragged them back into the game.
Back to an 8-point margin, and it's getting a little scary for the home team. The belief high amongst the Crows. Dowling setting it up again. Out wide to lead. Run past by Nankervis. Another one of their kids. Heads to half forward, Saligo. Great mark, running back with a fly. Fogarty play on, and that's out of play. So Fogarty is going to have to give this to the boundary umpire. He tried to convince. No, it was on the foot. Okay.
I thought it was touched off the boot.
Yeah, the umpire said play on.
Yeah, it was touched off the boot.
So how does he have to give that up? How do the umpires let that go? There's four of them out there, so surely one overrules the other and says, I called touch, but maybe something else happened. Did Fogarty get done for insufficient intent? Walking it out of play. Dowling fighting hard in there again. Flicked out to Bailey. Pumps it inside 50. Hit foot. 50 metres, is it? No. Oh, he said stand on the 50 metres, the umpire. Okay. Whitwood walks back.
He's got this kick in him. He's going to commit to it. He got to commit. Was this to the top of the square, do you think, Browning?
No. Take it on. Just take a right-hand post and let it just fade back.
Goes without saying they could do with this goal, Brisbane.
Centres it in the end. Pulled it late for the leapers. Rayner got up. Dunkley crumbed Keys. Got it back, and that's probably going to be insufficient intent unless it takes a wild bounce and stays in. But at least he bought them some time.
Yeah, not the worst result. They've set up behind the ball, as you can see.
Leicester.
Sits it up again. Who's going to be the big launch? Murray kills it. And again, the crowd wanting sufficient intent.
Touched off the boot. Flies that Rankin's back, just a little clip. That's why the...
So how was that a free?
Yeah.
And how did the boundary umpire and the four... Well, leave it alone. As good as ever. The umpiring, of course, we're told, and they're going to make some mistakes, so maybe that was one of them. Dunkley hands it back to the umpire.
Well, what they have done is curtail Dunkley and, to a lesser extent, Neal's influence. Dunkley's had just 2 possessions, and they've had plenty, Adelaide. 44-28. Josh Dunkley, new experience, trying to get away from a tag. He may be able to break that by going on to Rory Laird, who's had half a dozen.
Danaher against O'Brien. Dunkley again going nowhere.
Lockie Neal on the bench, as we saw, just the 2 touches, getting a bit of a rest.
Big pat out, but straight to the wrong guy. Ashcroft. Morris. Dowling. And we're a little too slick.
Well, this is where they were weak in the second term, giving away goals from forward half or forward 50 stoppages. The Crows, so they need to address that. Nice and tight, congest.
If you just joined us, Adelaide Crows have kicked the last 2 goals of this game. Loman goes and gets, they get him. The Lions have led by 21 points a few times. O'Brien down to Hinge, caught. Dowling, caught. Threw it away, got away with it. Hinge takes down Ashcroft.
Yeah, very lucky there, Dowling. It looked like half a handle, half a throw after the tackle.
There's a whole half an oval spare. Most players down that end, slapped out. Rankin lays the tackle on Fletcher carefully.
We got Charlie, Joe here.
If you have joined us late, you'll have some issues with the MRO. Isaac Rankin this week. Rayner kept it in front, got it, spins it around his body and kicks a monster.
And the dangerous at the moment with 450 from turn overall from 450 stop use. That's the second for the quarter from that source. Cam Rayner, they've had a big day numbers wise or involvement, but has kicked through. So just see he gets on the move as well. Hinge, I think it was. Just, yeah, nice. Get that around the corner. The Hinge just following there. They do a better job there. Falls over, stumbles.
Yeah, Hinge could have done a little bit better, and there's another player that could have just jumped in line there and blocked his path.
It's a good return from your 450, Jared.
That's a ripper.
Yeah.
It's been the difference between the two teams right now.
That's right. Yeah, 6 goals from that area of the ground.
Rayner kicked 2 goals from 8 possessions last week against Melbourne. To have an impact, there's 3 goals here. Have been huge. Himmelberg lays the tackle. Has been sent in as the ruck against Oscar McInerney. And deals with Himmelberg legally, according to the umpire. Dunkley somehow to Berry. Extracts it. Archie going up to Dunkley. Waddles one towards Danaher. Half held. Not fully held. Kicked it off the deck. Smith. Fake to go one way. Kicked straight to Dunkley, of all people. And he needs to go back and show some poise. And finish it.
Definitely been a reminder to the umpires that 15 metres is 15 metres. Yeah. Because last week we saw a couple of players going about 8 metres. Yeah. Today, they definitely wanted to go further than 15 metres. One of the big by Adelaide before that sort of looked like in trouble at 15.
Done this a few times, the Lions. They don't steady the ship this time. Dunkley blows his line. 8 minutes left in the third. Still on eternity left. Nick Murray. It's wide. Big pack. Rochelle off hands. Gave it to Reville. Wrong guy to give it to, and he lace out to Logan Morris, one of their young guns.
Yeah, 2 young guns out of there. Reville, beautiful kick on show there. Logan Morris, beautiful set of hands.
Yeah, he's got a good bit of grey matter between the ears too, Brownie. He's a really clear thinker. He's shown that in his very short career so far. This is one of the great challenges of footy, going back and nailing them when your club needs it.
It's a pretty accurate kick though. 13-6 career. Subbed out in the third quarter last week after a lean night at the office. Wow, it was a good kick, but is this 50? So it's 50. It's going to get the kick again. Wow. Matthew Nix is starting to wonder are the footy gods against him.
It's a super big blow.
It's a nice mulligan.
And no one's on the mark, so he can put it into row 28.
But what a difference that may make at the end of the day. A little bit of a celebration by the young Cubs. Let's have a look whether he goes over the mark. Umpire's right on it. He's pointing at it. Yep, and he jumps forward. And Logan Morris will be telling everybody that's why he was put off ground.
It was a big forward jump. Yeah, but what about off quick? Still think too many players get too close to the man on the mark, but unusual circumstance from the Irishman tried something novel. Quite often, players will probably get away with that. The umpire's right on.
Jimmy Steins famously ran through the mark all those years ago, so there's a bit of work to do when they arrive.
Can hurt for us Melbourne fans watching this. Dan Curvis to be one of those that's lifted them off the canvas a few times, the Crows today. Payne takes the mark.
Well read.
Good addition to have him back this week. Back from the foot soreness. Missed last week against Melbourne. Harris Andrews blasts it into space and Dunkley moted to get there.
It's a good way to beat a matchup. Hard running like that.
Crows have numbers on the wing. Cook blasts it back, but straight back to the man who set it there.
Yeah, so early in the quarter we spoke about the Adelaide Crows using short handball and short kicking especially to break up the Brisbane line zone. You can't blast it forward.
Zorko turns it over to Laird. Scholl, he turned it over. Well, Himmelberg, it might still work. Going back to Scholl, he was shut down. Wilmot. Fletcher.
There's good pressure there by the Brisbane Lions. They fumbled it a few times but still got through.
Andrews gets it wide. Logan Morris got rid of his man. He's got some belief, this kid. Backs himself in. Outside of the boot to Danaher. Turned one way, turned another. Back pedals, moonwalked his way out of trouble. Gave it to Lyman. Shut down. Crows on the rebound. Dawson. Cook. Great fake. Sold it to Berry. Heads out wide. Keys. Fogarty's got two to beat. Charlie went up. Put it to grass. Hurt himself, Charlie. Pain in the meantime.
It's been good, Charlie, to get back in the fence and help out.
Yeah, really worked hard.
He actually has worked hard in that part of his game in the last few weeks, so numbers not necessarily showing up. He's been hurt there, he's copped one.
Yeah, he's landed awkwardly out wide, so Neil might hold it up here for a few seconds and wait. It's Charlie heading to the bench maybe. Neil plays on. So it's 17 versus 18 as Charlie wanders in the direction of the bench. O'Brien. Saliga.
Good pressure.
Gets past Dunkley. Pumps it back towards the wing. Turns it straight over to Darcy Wilmot. The classy Darcy inside. Zorko. Hipwood.
Brisbane have done a good job in the last 5 minutes, taking away Adelaide's uncontested marks, Jared.
Yeah, they've got the ball back in control.
Centering kick on the lead. Well, Bailey, it wasn't meant for him. He shrugs. Got it up. Ashcroft. It's good to have this kid back. It's great to have this kid back.
Yeah, well done to Zach Bailey as well. He made the commitment to the football, just dropped it, but instinctively handball. That's what's been missing in this forward line. A lack of instinct or in the round when you can give it to someone and a good goal.
Yeah, great to see him back. As he said, started well last week and then actually finished well. First game back from the knee reconstruction. We'll see him continue on that today. Brisbane just getting back control of this game. See the margin now. Charlie Cameron back out the field, or he's actually healthy, so work back in the fence to help out and cop the, well, the landing just leaving front of his back. But good to see him help out his defenders, trying to get involved in the game other ways other than relying on just kicks, goals and marks.
Yeah, the coach will be pretty pleased with that, Brownie. Absolutely involved in defence.
26 points is the biggest margin of the game. Crows in a hole. Their captain maybe to help dig them out. Dawson to Hinge. Runs the wing. Rochelle bumped his man out, but didn't realise there were so many others around there. And that was a little Neil Gornish from Harris Andrews. But maybe no noise of affirmation for the umpire.
He hit that short though, coming through the centre here, Adelaide. They've gone away what worked beautifully in this third quarter early on.
Big moments in games. And a hold for Brisbane. So they win the free. Back pocket. And that man knows about umpiring decisions that can cost you. Ben Keys, the man who kicked the goal that wasn't against Sydney last season. Maybe the biggest sliding door moment of any club for the last 12 months. Leicester can't corral it. And we'll get a ball in.
Jeez, you're bringing up some skeletons.
Well, it's
all the teams. How many more you got?
Well, he's got an opportunity to get back one of those forward 50 stoppage goals. I think they were a bit stiff there not to get that free kick. After Harris Andrews locked up field, you see nothing as though he dived for the boundary line.
Walker, McInerney, little tap down to Neil, lost it. Oh, and Tex has thrown the arm back. Wilmot not happy. He's paid the free kick, so it's a free kick to Will Ashcroft.
Lockie Neal held just the 3 touches, and he got those very early in the piece in this term, so that's been a win.
Danaher saw it fisted away, and Neal shut down immediately.
And as you said early in the quarter, Jared, it gives Ashcroft an opportunity. And not that he's racked up big numbers, but he's just so clean. Ashcroft, he just puts players or teammates into a better position. As Charlie Cameron's just limping from the ground, he was holding his left hamstring, so we'll keep you up to speed with that one as this pans out.
Leicester against the greater Wilmot, who flicked it as he was tackled. Dallin shut down. He didn't have... Yeah, he did have prior, the umpire said.
Great play by Ryan Leicester there, so Dwayne. Just to block, he saw that O'Brien was trying to get the hit over the back to Isaac Rankin. Great awareness, so he knew he would have been the target, and obviously then the follow-up tackle. Fantastic leadership there by Ryan Leicester.
Ashcroft goes back, and they've done this a little bit late in quarters. The Lions just possession fest.
Well, they conceded one in the second, and that's nearly conceded again, but a good strong mark by Harris Andrews. McCluggage.
Rankin pressurised the kick. Lyman, brilliant collect. The scoop up. Wilmot floats it up long. Morris nearly pulled that down. Went between Hickwood's legs. Scoop up from Hinch, just as good. Caught by Dunkley. Got a handball out. Crowd roaring. Dowling a little fumble. Dragged down by Wilmot. Intensity's gone up. The Lions will be back inside the 8 if they win this. They're outside the 8 right now. They win this, they'll be a win from top 4. That's how big it is. McCarlton losing. There'll be 2 wins from second in this bizarre season. Shoal caught. Lions won the past 4 games. They lost 5 of their first 7 this season. They've got the West Coast next week, so it sets up nicely if they can get the 4 points here tonight. Wide ball off the fist of Payne. Gets a protection one a little bit, but not much from McKenna.
Oh, looking for the boundary line, but he's hooked it in well. That's what happens when you do.
2-on-2 ahead of the ball. Himmelberg knocked it down. Rochelle stayed down. Didn't go for the marking contest. He had to be the crummer. Knocked away from Dowling. Arm chop. Berry plays on. Great grab drifting down Mark Keane. He's never kicked a goal. He doesn't know what to do, the Irishman. Game 25. And he chips into the pocket to Keys.
Oh, he knows what to do.
Oh, great run there by Ben Keys. Just kept working. He's kicked 3 goals so far, but just worked. He knew Mark Keane would want to have a shot. And he's worked to his favourite side.
One more.
Well, this goes through, Randy. Brisbane's got 2 men probably now incapacitated.
Opens it up and he's kicked it. The ex-Lion, remember me, I'm back. He's got 4.
On fire, Ben Keys, absolutely on fire, and they just continue to hang on here, the Adelaide Crows. Starcevic is not coming back onto the ground with concussion. We know Charlie Cameron looks like he's gone with a hamstring. So they're 2 men down. Fatigue's going to be a bit of an issue for them, but Sam Berry, who's done a pretty good job in a negative role, gets into a positive role and sets it up, and the Irishman delivers a ripper.
Can't question the Crows' work rate this quarter, can you? They've had a crack. Early in the quarter, they were in control, and they've just fought their way back after a good period by Brisbane. Charlie Cameron looks like he might be done for the day. Head in the knees before this shot.
And they've done so, Brownie, with Rankin having just 1 possession, Jordan Dawson just 2, Rochelle just 2 possessions.
Dawson about to get another. Hester Berry.
Well, they've had 25 tackles this quarter. It's a huge number on a dry deck.
Yeah.
Yes, that shows their commitment to pressuring up Brisbane.
30 seconds and counting. Sweeps it over the head. Murray went and got it. Last roll of the dice for Adelaide. Wide ball, can they get a mark? Flicked away. Still got 20 seconds to play with for one last score. Matthew Nix, a little edgy. fifth season as coach, yet to coach them into the finals.
Just jump on Rankin here and Ben Keys.
They can salvage something out of this season if they steal this. Keys behind his back. Shoal. Rochelle flies. Rankin can't swoop.
Well, they got enough time just for one clean takeaway.
Time maybe for some Rankin magic.
Three blokes.
Chris Fagan's a little edgy. Where's Isaac? O'Brien goes up. Knocks it down central. Just past Isaac. Laird got it. Shoal. Siren. But it sets up beautifully. The final game of round 17. We might have saved the best till last. A draw when these two teams last met in round 9 at the Adelaide Oval. And the Crows are giving them a run for their money at the Gabba. 12-7-79 to 9-5. 59.
Well, there you go, folks. That is three-quarter time here at the Gabba. And it's Brisbane Lions by 20, 12-7-79, lead Adelaide Crows 9-5, 59. The Crows, they came back a bit in that third quarter, and of course Brisbane got their mojo back in order, and they kicked a few more goals to get them stretched that lead out. Brisbane, they're kicking 4 goals, 1 good kicking to the Crows, 3 goals, 2. So they're both getting their chances. They're both playing pretty good football, and this is still anybody's game, even though it's just 20 points. This is anybody's game here at the Gabba with the final quarter to come. Final quarter will be back in 4 minutes. Let's just duck over and have a look at some of the players' stats here. Let's go and have a look at the leading possession getters on the ground at the moment. Josh Dunkley has taken the lead for the leading possession getter. He's now on 28. He's having a great game there for the Brisbane Lions. He's had 15 kicks, 13 handballs, 6 marks, 4 tackles, 4 clearances. Lachie Neale's having one of those great games as well with 27. 13 kicks, 14 handballs. He's had 5 marks, 2 tackles, 8 clearances. He's doing his job. Absolutely. Rory Laird for Adelaide. He's had 23 touches with 8 kicks, and Will Ashcroft for the Lions, 18. Let's run down the page a little bit so everyone can, as I always say, have a look at their favourite players, see how they are statting up, how they're going on their disposals with their kicks, marks, handballs, tackles, clearances, fantasy points, goals and behinds. Zorko up to 14 now, and he's been reasonably quiet in this game. Yo, Addy G, what's going on? What's going on? What's happening, Squire? I'll tell you what, this is a cracker game. If you're watching this game, I know it's 20-point margin. It's anybody's game. It's a good game of footy. And, of course, we watched the... I watched a little bit of the Sydney and St Kilda one. That was a big upset there where the Saints got up over the Swans by 2 points. Sydney had their chance to kick a goal in the last 50 seconds, but it was wayward through for behind, and that let St Kilda go on for victory. Jose Rosario, let's go. Brisbane, let's go. How you going, Jose? Good stuff. Welcome in. They're going all right. I tell you what, Brisbane got challenged in that third quarter from Adelaide. I think Adelaide got back to within about 7 points, but then Brisbane put their foot down again, said, let's get going. And they regained command of the game. But as I said, it is still anybody's game. All right, let's just duck back up here. Let's have a look at the goal scorers for the game. We've got Ben Keys now for Adelaide with the leading goal scorer on 4 goals. Cam Rayner, Lachie Neale still haven't added to their tally. They've still got 3 each from half time. Himmingbird, he's got 2 for the Crows. Walker, Soligo, Rankin's got 1. Then for Brisbane, you've got Morris, Lohman, Hipwood, Dunkley, Ashcroft, Achi, all with single goals. There we go. Now let's just have a quick look before we head back with the fantasy points. If you've got the fantasy points there, you play that game. Lockie Neal's on top there with 109, with Josh Dunkley 106, the two leading possession getters on the ground. They're taking the points so far, and they will add to their tally. Of course, Rory Laird, is 85. Will Ashcroft 83. We'll go down. We'll just roll down this a little bit. This is the fantasy points if you're looking for that. We'll just keep going down. And of course, for those people who are interested in who kicked the first goal of the match, that was Cam Rayner for the Brisbane Lions. Cam Rayner, he kicked the first goal of the match. Of course, he's got 3 goals. So there are the fantasy points. Let me go back and just have a quick glance and see how far we are away. We're not too far away. Let's have a quick look at some team stats just before we head back there in a minute. Team stats, disposals, they're pretty well level there, 263, 260. The kicks, the handballs, not too much difference. Inside 50 is pretty level, 40 to 35. As I said, they're both getting their chances there. Stoppages, bit of a look there. Contested possessions, pretty well even. Marks, again, pretty well even. Inside 50, 9 to 10, both getting their opportunity. Let's head to the defensive tackles. Now, Adelaide are on top in that, but Brisbane just ahead there on the inside tackle defensive 50, 13 to 9. All right, folks, let's head back to the game. And we'll get back to the commentators. Good luck, Brisbane. Good luck, Adelaide. Here we go.
Country Road still ringing around the Gabba. And now the Roar final term underway. Neal's been sensational, but he had a quieter third term and he kicks it off the deck to start this fourth. Danaher got there. Was he met high by Dawson? Price says yes. Free kick to Joe.
The left shoulder was repaired.
He got pushed into it. Yeah, as you're Dawson saying, I didn't do that. I was pushed into him and he's on the money. So MRO-wise, he's got that in his favour at least. Yeah, no, there's no MRO issue. Yeah. And did he get him high anyway? No, didn't look like it. So was that a free anyway? That's a good question, Brian.
That's what it was, though. It's a big kick.
He gave it some air. He's hanging up there, and good mark taken by O'Brien.
The Adelaide Crows have put their sub into the game, so that's Zach Taylor. Mitch Hinge has been subbed out at 3/4 time.
Thanks, Lynchy. So Makalani to Keane, out wide, Shaw. So Zach Taylor, what a moment for him in game 2. Feeds the handball on. Shaw, back again. Scramble, kick towards half-forward, Dunkley.
Well, it's great pressure up the ground, caused a very ordinary kick. And Josh Dunkley's worked hard to get back to support his defence.
He clearly saw the plane is from Adelaide, so worked well.
Danger, there's Zach Taylor again. But he was going to get his second bite of the cherry.
Risky kick from the captain, though.
Zorko, Berry, McCluggage, the hero last week. Clean this from Butts. O'Brien, where was he going with that? Michaelani caught. And
Can't do that.
Smith handballs it through from within the 9 under pressure.
Probably a good week to do it after the controversy last week.
Gives it to Dawson. Thumps it out wide. Nicely delivered to Fogarty. Screaming for friends. Saligo's had a good night. Tex, as they tightrope the boundary. Wheels around, pulls the kick. That might work. No, it doesn't. Keys didn't get it to skip up into his arms.
To the rules at the moment, Jared, that's not a deliberate, but you think the AFL tightens that rule about rush behinds next year?
I hope so.
Yeah, it'd be better for the game. I think they should align it with the same as the boundary rule.
And just after we gave Tex a wrap, he stuffed up a left-foot kick. You don't see that too often.
Rankin. Perry. Dak threw it away.
Got the Crows drops on top.
Has Lloyd What's the old story? If you can't be a footballer, let's look like one.
Well,
We're all
he's
told by
there.
coaches.
Yeah, they were. Very stiff. He was taken high initially. Tried to break through it. But they're pressing pretty hard here. The Adelaide Crows.
Bruce. Lockie.
50.
Well, it was in the marking contest, was it? Or too late for you, Jerry?
Too late for mine, Dwayne, but nevertheless, it's been kind of umpires week.
All the way back to Payne, all the way back to Harris Andrews. Time on their side. They lead by 21. Berry and Shaw dance the dance. Who's frees that? Adelaide 3. Not sure either of them actually knew until the umpire told them whose it was.
Man in front, reward the man in front.
Pump long. Himmelberg got there for the contest, not for the front. That looked a little high from here. Looked a little high from there.
This was a great crumb, though. That was exquisite, though. It's skilled to be able to pick that up. He came from low to high, and he deserved that free kick.
It's a big kick.
Yep. It's in the right hands, though, Brownie. And this is a kick that just is going to put the squeeze on.
I like his back. I like his body language. He wants this kick, Jared.
Yep. And he's shown that throughout his whole career. Happy with the moment. Generally delivers.
And you probably know, Chris Fagan knows, don't let Rankin beat you. If anyone can, Isaac can. Booms, after his collision with Starcevich earlier. Thumps it, Garwood. It's Isaac time.
Brady, that was absolutely dead centre. I mean, he has got ice cool temperament, this fellow. He's picked it up magnificently. Just take a look at that. I mean, under enormous pressure, he's kept his eye on the pill. He's executed it magnificently and gone home and nailed it.
Oh, what a wonderful kick. Pressure moment too. I love his body language. He wanted that kick. He stared the dragon in the eye. Look at that. So he doesn't go too far out to the right. It's a great lesson. How many times the last few weeks we've seen guys with long shots virtually run to the behind post and then it skews off the boot. He kept it relatively straight, even though it's a long kick and he has to ease out to get the extra distance. Fantastic technique for a long kick.
They've resisted the temptation to put him in the middle. Starting forward, little flick from McInerney. Bailey left it behind. Toe off the deck. Murray. Berry. Smith. Good to have him back with the experience. Michael only got under that a little. Rankin got there late. Thumped away from Wilmot. He got all Sharon. Shoal knows he's got eye flack there for support. Rakes it in. Trouble. Trouble. Nope. Got a nice edge now. 15 points. Winner or loss, the difference between the lines being in or out of the 8. Game 2. Taylor got the handoff to Berry. He did good. The kid. Whose ball is this? Walker and Lester. And the umpires found a free kick. Walker thought it was his.
Tell you what, it was a magnificent handball from Taylor from inside to out before. He was super quick. He's got people running for him inside. He's going to stay conservative. That's a great kick.
Moss. The pocket for the big O. Got up there.
Well, you've got to ask the question, how did the Lions get one forward as free as that to enable him to kick it to the big O, who took a great hanger, and he's a pretty good shot at goal, the big O.
He's a fantastic contested mark as well for Ruckman. Free against Tex, just grab with the arm. The umpire's always watching for that. He did the opportunity with only one Ruckman as much to go forward nowadays, Jared.
Yep.
But when he can take a mark, and he's normally a good shot at goal. It's a tough angle.
He got Morris forward by himself, and he always gets the right target.
He's kicked 60 of them career. There's Oscar. He can't kick this one. Jordan Dawson entrusted with the kicking. How aggressive will he be? It's out wide in the end. Himmelberg, one grab, two. And the reach on Fletcher.
Great move having Dawson in behind the ball delivering. He's their best kick.
He gave it some air for the taller guy to get it. That's not as good a kick. Bailey on the move. Can they pay full price? They might. Beware the wounded line. Cameron's up and about. And he nails it. Beware the wounded line.
Well done, Charlie. You tried to do the right thing, handball over the top, and in the end you did the right thing and not handball and just go back and nail it. And beware the ruckman playing, kicking the ball under the pump.
Yeah, at least just a bit of confidence. Kicking that ball out, that was really hard. I think Zach Bailey's been pretty good to outfield. Just working his way back. Charlie Cameron contributing upfield. You get rewarded, Jared, if you're going to help defensively.
Great kick from Zach Bailey. That's when you know he's at his absolute best. Charging inside forward 50, kicking goals or delivering them. And he read that really well, Charlie. He was looking to the over the top, but when he went back, he took the responsibility and nailed it.
I love the fact the song rings almost at 20 seconds past the bounce to restart it. Fans continue to serenade. Back underway. McInerney the clearance. Charlie's under it. Archie. It's his moment. Neil. Shut down. Got the kick away. Huge ball to win. Charlie. They just finished the song. They nearly had to cue it again.
Well, for Murphy.
Great tackle by Murphy.
And Bedford's role for GWS coming off that half-forward role to play a tagging role.
I must put Brandy, I reckon, if you're going to go with a hard tag, put him in the middle and let him run. Get inside the head. Don't let him off the hook with kicks coming out of the middle of the ground.
Keane heads in the Fogarty direction. Good hands. Pumps it in the Rankin direction. In space, Leston knew the boundary was there. It was clever enough.
So starting to hit that kicking side. So you've got to be aggressive now. 23 points down.
Yeah.
Halfway through this last quarter. So Fogarty had one in the middle. You've got to be aggressive, especially here at the Gabba. Shortest route home.
You're right, Brownie. And all the fans are diving for their phones to check the score because we've had no scoreboard in this last quarter, so the players wouldn't actually know unless they're a bit more diligent than me during the game.
That being the Masters golf.
Murphy got the clearance. Soligo pounced. Can he finish? That'll work back. Keys golf where Payne stood his ground.
Yeah, and Keys is rightly saying, top of the square, I was on my own, Soligo had a shot. And it didn't operate.
Wilmot, the MC, the PA, just gave the score to the crowd.
Wide ball. There he is again. Harris Andrews. The captain standing tall at the right moment.
It's a perfect kick for Darcy Wilmot.
Dumps it down the line. Front spot was played the mark. Jordan Dawson. Floats it back. They've done this 3 times, the Crows, in every quarter. Margins blown beyond 20 and they've cut it back to single digits. Cook to Tex with one pull.
Yeah, better intercept mark by Dawson and go for that short kick and then get over the top. So he's having good success early in the third quarter, Jared, but just haven't been able to do it enough in the second half. So good there by Rankin. Just takes the initiative, gets that short kick back inside.
Well, with no hinge, I think it's been the best move to get Dawson in behind the ball.
Game 273 for Taylor Walker. Ultra reliable, and he keeps the door open.
Absolutely, keeps the door open. So big set of bounce coming up now. Adelaide Crows. What they've done all day, Jared, they've hung in.
Yeah.
Just hung in.
The whole time.
Yeah, the whole time. Not through lack of effort, they're behind the scoreboard, that's for sure. But Brisbane's still be a little bit nervous back here. So look at this. Takes the initiative straight away, Rankin, bang, on the boot. Doesn't let the Brisbane Lions defence get settled. And then you're able to get over the top. Good contested mark.
Great kick too. Yeah, really good ball use. And this kick is always to Tex's advantage. He just has to hold his opponent out. Ryan Lester, he's got more strength than him. Goes back, nails it, keeps him alive.
Margin was 20 at three-quarter time. It's back to 16. 2 second rucks in the middle. Ryman. Rayner. Playing in the middle at the moment. Hipwood can't collect it. Reveal. Spear pass, pocket. Well read by Keane.
Just a bit too strong for the 18-year-old on that occasion.
See what Dowling does in a possession machine in the Sandford early in his career. That's a good grab from Wilmot. No one else could get there in time. Turns and goes. Thumps it long. Jordan Dawson won't get there, and guess who? Used his muscle again, did Keane. Corridor kick this time to Laird. Smith, who we gave the play on some consideration.
Wow. He definitely, he's trying to handball it to Sam Berry. So good interpretation there by the umpire.
We've got Will Ashcroft to bite. And now the money kick. He doesn't go for it. He gave it up to Berry. And he chips his that the required. Huge moment this. Zach Taylor outside of the boot. Missed it for his first ever in game 2.
Last week the umpire may have paid it to one. This week the umpires have been a lot more stringent on the 15 metres.
I saw a 17-metre kick, not paid later in the previous game. Very stringent Brownie.
A little reminder.
And Kalamarchi, he's running hard with Jordan Dawson. Wherever he goes, they're trying to restrict him getting the pill.
Get a ball in. Lockie Neal coming back on for the Lions.
He's trying to play a big hinge role. He's behind the footy, hinged off the ground with an injury.
Neal's had a little rest and Berry goes straight to him. Ashcroft couldn't get away with it. Himmelberg half a handball. Saligo tried to fish it out. Berry, Ashcroft, Michaelani, Cook floats it. Who's going to go? Wilmot goes, double fister. Ashcroft goes, gets the handball. Lyman shut down. Got it to Wilmot, who loves the run. Hunted down by Isaac. What a chase!
Inspiring moments here. A couple of times this last quarter. Isaac Rankin.
To Dawson out wide, and now Smith gets a chance. Grabs up Lester. Bruce. Back to Ryan. Dawson held him in. Now he's got him by the leg. That's legged.
Had to hit the target coming out of that hard back line. The Crows gave one up.
It's intense. Thumps it. No, dropped it, did Keane. Handball through the traffic. And Curvis. Michaelani with some poise. Pumps it wide. Bailey. Oh, he ran. He zigzagged and he ran into a brick wall. Advantage high.
Advantage.
Play on. Lester gets his moment. And he wastes it. So Dowling's tackle was deemed high. Danaher on the bench and Matthew Nix working the phone. This still winnable. They're 3 goals away.
I think Matthew Nix has just basically said it's over to the players. They're going to win. It's up to them now.
So the block. Let's go to McKenna. Back to Berry. Sends it along. A couple of them there. Big O was waiting for it. Morris flicks it out. Hipwood. Touch on the line.
Got to go and go quick, go effectively now. Ball has been living in this Brisbane Lions end for the last few minutes.
Mark Keane to the one-on-one that he likes between Walker and Lester.
Well identified there. Sure, you got a favourable matchup.
Put it out in front for the run with Dowling. Used it well to Keys. You'd think that's either a mark or a free. He made him earn it.
Tell you what, it's a great transition. They set that up perfectly, the Crows.
Keys has 4. Doesn't go for Hyde, he goes for Fogarty. Happy to go with the fist and get a ball in.
Yeah, good by Fletcher there. It's been one of his better games, Fletcher. Jasper Fletcher's second year. Just struggled a little bit of times. He's been subbed a couple of times, but today started on the ground. effort there. That's what you have to do as a winger. Put your body on the line in the air, getting back and help your defenders.
Riley O'Brien not rucking. Himmelberg does the job against Oscar McInerney in the professional ruck. The Big O wins it. Gabba, little paddle, little fumble. Stolen by Keys. Got to Laird. Touched. Play on. Bailey does play on. Ashcroft. All the poise in the world. Hester with the hip put one-on-one. Knocked away by Murray. Ball in on the wing.
There's a really nice kick from Ashcroft. Gave it to the advantage of the teammate. Under some serious heat.
Very good battle between the Adelaide key defenders and the forwards.
Yep.
Pretty reasonable job, I think, Jared.
Yep.
Key, lots of Murray back there.
Still trusting Himmelberg in the ruck. The Big O slams it with a fist. Got it down to Archie. Handball to himself and then was caught. Free kick Archie and almost a professional free kick from Jordan Dawson.
He's interesting with his hit outs on the left hand, the Big O. He hits it with the palm of his hand.
Spear. Beautifully delivered to Charlie Cameron.
The heel. And he gets a stack of it.
He'll be smiling. He's got smile on his left armband there. He'll be smiling if he kicks this one, Brian.
Takes a breath to give them breathing space. It's going. It's going. It's gone.
Brownie, sometimes we can overthink things. All Charlie needed to do was go for that and hit the ground and just shake things up a little bit.
Absolutely.
He's really aggressive. He's really rebooted the brain cells.
Getting upfield, but he's helping his teammates, especially his defenders in that third quarter. It's amazing how you get rewarded offensively. Now have a look at his technique.
Yep.
As Jared identified, just hitting with the, what's that part called?
The heel in hand.
It's the club.
He did it earlier in the game when he flipped it. We didn't flip it. He smacked it to Lockie now, and he did it that time. And that probably gets them home when we get the song once again.
It's good signs for Brisbane Lions. I think just Charlie can fire up the back end of the year.
Yes.
He really brings the crowd in the game. These home games, especially for Lions, so important. As you can hear, the atmosphere is fantastic.
The climb continues and the game continues. Crows run out of time for the big steal. Berry to Zorko. Heads out wide. Rolling ball. Logan Morris, will he keep it in? Gave it some thought. I don't think he really wanted to.
If there was a multiple choice question, Brownie, how many years for Zorko to continue? 3 years, 2 years, 1 year. What's your best guess?
I think 2.
Yeah.
You know, the way he keeps going, he's probably not sure you have to. Lynchy might know better, but he'd be close to leading the best and fairest, wouldn't he, Lynchy?
Yeah, who was that? Sorry, Brownie?
Van Zorko.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, he's and a good thing. Last year of his contract, I think he'll be extending into another season, no doubt.
1 or 2, do you reckon he's got left? Lynchy?
You get to Dane's age, so you're probably just getting the 1, but he's got plenty of football left. He's been pivotal this year with Kadeem Coleman going down in round 1 here at the Gabba. It took him a few weeks to get him back to half-back, but his aggressive kicking is what's really ignited this Lions in their resurgence over the last probably 6 to 8 weeks.
He's averaged 26 possessions a game this year after averaging 21 career. So he is having, possession-wise, his best year yet.
And he flicks it over the season too. Had himself a good shape.
Somebody will end up playing at 40 in this professional era.
Yeah.
It may be Zorko.
He actually had a 40 possession game, the best of his career, round 8 this year. Dunkley trying to put a finishing touch on.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, you think Tom Hawkins is 35, 36.
Yeah.
He's carrying around about 110 kilos.
Well, I think Boomer Harvey, had he been playing in a side that was at the top of the ladder, he would have kept going.
It's an even 40. 4-goal margin. Rankin down the spine. Time's of the essence now. Rochelle knows it. Turns, wheels, thumps. Fogarty's up. 1 grab. Couldn't get the second. Pleads his case for a little high contact. More than pleads his case. Took his mouth guard out to make sure it was heard. The two big O's have been going at it all afternoon. Nearly started all this. He might help finish it. Kick to Morris. Spot on, and that's almost 50. There he ran around the back to be on his man. Heads out wide. Danaher. Keane. Butts. Oh, did he play on? Not sure it was called play on. Archie knew like the rest of us he was going to, but he just got there a bit quick. Butts to the pocket. A mark would make it interesting. There's the mark. Fogarty's got it.
Should you be disadvantaged if the umpire hasn't been able to call play on? I mean, clearly, to the rest of the world, he's played on.
Great kick from Butts. And no need to tell you, this guy is normally a pretty good kick as well. Puts it through. 3 goals. 5 minutes. That's the equation for the big steal.
He's a magnificent kick. As good as there is, set shot goal kicker in the competition, teammate Isaac Reed's pretty heavy. So a big stick there, Cal Archer. So here we are. So the letter of law is probably 50 members, but everyone knew he played on. The umpire will say he had call play on there. So it's a real tough one, isn't it, there for the players?
Yeah.
What's Cal Archer supposed to do there?
Yeah, the stand rule is certainly, Brownie, opened up the game and made you be able to hit those corridor kicks a little bit more easily, but it has created a few other issues.
Yeah, it has. Yeah. Came off the fist of Dunkley too. He was a bit frustrated with that, but well done. Took the opportunity, Fogarty.
Oh, Berry off and running. Little push off on McCluggage. Got it to Murphy. Goal square. Fogarty!
Oh. That's what you do here at centre bounce. You have optimum reward. You get it deep entries.
Spins it around. 2 goals, 4.5 minutes. The equation for the big steal.
Yeah, he's had a good involvement, Berry.
Yeah, Berry was good. So was Lockie Murphy, who came off. I think he was on deal at that centre clearance, but that was just a great kick. 1-on-1, too strong, and a good finish.
So no need to remind Lion and Cry fans, last time these two teams met, round 9, Adelaide Oval, it was a draw. 13-12, 90 apiece. And the draw is back on. Sure that we've had 2 in a season between 2 teams before.
Rayner into the middle.
It's deafening in here. Hope you're enjoying it as much as we're enjoying bringing it to you. Past Rayner, toe off the deck. Race on. Berry, Shoal, and coming the other way. Playing for the Freewas Keys. Taking high. Fulton there.
And even that was hit with the ball.
Who are the leapers? Fogarty goes, brings it to the ground.
Good ball, Wilmot there. Fogarty, his name written all over that one.
Yeah, where is Rankin? Just not past him. Bailey got there. Walker! So 2 goals and they can take the lead now. It's 11 points. They're doing all the attacking. It's in the hands of the guy who's played 266 games, Dane Zorko, and he gives it to another experienced man, Lockie Neal. The wise heads work it to the wing, to Berry. Took the mark. An overcommitment in the spoil attempt. Chip kick. Archie, nice collect to Dunkley. Can Danaher get there for the jump? Buckley back with the flight of it. Joe! Hard it down. Was that a tackle? It looked like a tackle and maybe ball. He missed his boot. Eric throws it out. Charlie time. Thumps it long. McCluggage can't get there. Ball in.
His foot. Tripped himself on the kick his opponent's foot.
Did he make contact?
I think he made contact.
He's had prior. Wasn't a tackle, it was a bump, was it? So if it's not a tackle,
Okay, but it wasn't paid.
And the ball in from the mad scramble. Taylor put his head down in game 2. Rankin, Scholl gets it outside. Defensive 50 and thou shalt not pass. Harris Andrews, the gatekeeper.
A good little block there also by Dane Zorko. He's got back and they're just going to kill time now. They're going to push up. They're going to take the man-on-man route here now, the Crows. Zorko. Oh, some off in his sleeves, give it back.
Had the right idea, Lockie Neal. Just couldn't deliver to his chest. The Great Dane.
Yeah, Brisbane going to roll back. Make sure the numbers be on the ball. This stage is still even numbers in the ball for Adelaide Crows, so they can attack forward.
Isaac, little flick was good. Nan Curtis the 1-2. 1-2, through to Michaelani. Open space, puts it out in front. Soligo, Reveal Soligo. Just motored to get there. Thumps at Keys. He's been the hero against his old team, but he can't get there. The Blues. Keys has got 4.
Yeah, they really needed a Jordan Dawson and a bloke with a serious left foot to get on the end of that one so they could bring it back into the corridor, but it was great pressure from the Lions, just push them wide.
Nowhere to hide now. Who wants to be the guy? You know, Rankin wants to be the guy. Soligo was half held. Touch to be play on. Wilmot, double fisted. Neal, not a lot of room to move. Heads wide. Thump to the boundary, ball in.
It's been important to us. Remember on a couple of times this last quarter, Jared, just get in the air, get in the way of the Adelaide Crows, tall forwards.
Chris Fagan, 8th season as coach. Finals the past 5 years. Win tonight, they're back in the 8th. Lose tonight, they're out of the 8th to finish round 17. His ball. And he can take his time here. Told to get on them. Hipwood lurking, or thumped away and thumped central. He's done well, Taylor. Soligo's had a great night until then. Zorko heads wide and Neal. He can take his time if he wants to. Another mark could be handy. Joe. Joe can take, we can tell the umpire, I'm going to have a go at it. I'm not sure the umpire will be bluffed that he can kick it from there. He's trying to talk him into it. I told him to go in the end. A mark, and it's over. Lions can't take it. Murray crumbs it. Smith off and running. They can get a goal here, get it back to the middle. They might have a few seconds to try and get the game off them. Taylor had it, dropped it. Was he held it out? He was. He's going to have to get up quickly. Rankin wants it. Got to give it. Doesn't give it to Isaac. He gives it to Neal, and it's over.
Well, it's been a hard-fought game, both clubs. Just goes to show these Crows aren't that far off it.
Danaher, he pushed it at Soligo and gave him some nouns and verbs there. Big Joe. Don't mess with the Joe show. He's been hot and cold again tonight. Back to Zorko. And he'll take the remaining seconds off the clock. They've lost no admirers, the Adelaide Crows, but they've lost the game. And the Brisbane Lions own the current best win streak in the AFL. They've won their past 5 games. The early season sleeping giant is awake. Don't put your head in the Lions' mouth. They are coming hard.
All right, folks, so there you go. There you go. I tell you what, it was a tight old match. It was a cracking last quarter. Of course, Adelaide came hard in the final term. They kicked 4 goals, 3 in that final term to Brisbane, 2 goals, 6. Holy moly, they had a couple of chances there. Adelaide late in those last 2 to 3 minutes. But the Lions showed their class and hung on. That's a good result there, Brett, for the Aussies. 107 to 47. Wow. Not too bad at all. But don't be too disheartened, folks, who barrack for the Adelaide Crows out there. They showed grit all day. They played good footy all day. It was just that both teams brought their game, and it was a cracking match. So a lot to like about Adelaide's game today, and of course Brisbane's game. That will now put them into the 8. We'll have a look at the ladder in just a moment, but let's just jump over and have a look at the players' stats here at the end of this game. Lachie Neale ended up the leading possession getter with 36 touches on the ground. Fantastic game by Lachie Neale. 20 kicks, 16 handballs, 9 marks, 2 tackles, 10 clearances. He had one out of the box today. Josh Dunkley, 35. He had 22 kicks, 13 handballs, 8 marks, 5 tackles, 7 clearances. So they both were the big gun engines there today for the Brisbane Lions. Rocky Laird did well for the Crows with 27 touches, 11 kicks, 16 handballs as we go down. Dane Zorko, he lifted his game in that final quarter. He ended up with a good result for 21 disposals. 22 disposals, 21 kicks, and just the one handball. Can you believe it? 10 marks, 2 tackles for him. And we'll just run down a few more there. Ashcroft, 21 possessions. Scholl, 22. Brodie Smith there for Adelaide for 22 also. Let's continue down a little bit more. Wilmot, 16 for the Lions. Joe Danaher, he wasn't too bad of a game for him, although he did not kick a goal. 15 disposals, 13 kicks, 2 handballs. Joe Danaher, he just does not know how to handball, folks. If he gets the ball, he just wants to kick it. He had 6 marks, 1 clearance, but no goals today. Just the one behind for Joey Danaher. Still, he was the good target up there for the Brisbane Lions. Charlie Cameron, he had a bit of a cracker of a term in that second half there. He ended up with 13 touches. He had 11 kicks, 2 handballs. He ended up with 2 goals, 3. So he did his job. It was pretty good, old Charlie Cameron. Brought the crowd alight, kept the momentum going when they needed it. He had 6 marks and, of course, 2 tackles. We'll just keep going down a bit to the stats for all the other players, and we'll have a quick glance at the goal scorers. All right, let's go back up. Let's see who kicked all the goals today. So the goal scorers for today, Ben Keys was the leading goal scorer on the ground for the Adelaide Crows. He snagged 4 goals. Cam Rayner and Lachie Neale, 3 each for the 2 of them. Cam Rayner, of course, was the first goal scorer in this match. Taylor Walker ended up with 2 goals, 1. Ranke ended up with a couple of goals. Himmenberg, he ended up with 2 goals, 1. Fogarty, 2 goals for the Crows. Charlie Cameron, as I said, 2 goals, 3. Good job. And, of course, singles to Soligo, Morris, Lohman, Hipwood, Dunkley, Ashcroft, and Archie. There's your goal scorers. Now, just for a quick glance at the top few on the fantasy points, if you're playing the fantasy game. Fantasy points, Lachie Neale there on top. He ended up with 143 points. Josh Dunkley, 140. Couple of good scores there if you got those fellas in your fantasy team. Of course, Dane Zorko, 104. Laird, 97. McKerney, 94. And Will Ashcroft rounds it out at 90. I'll just run that down quickly. This is on the left side, folks. That's the fantasy points. If you play, we'll give you a quick look and see what your player scored there. And there they go. Brandon Starcevic was the lowest, just with the 10 points. Let's have a little bit of a look at the team stats if you're interested in those. Disposals, pretty well even there. 347, 344. Not much difference in the kicks and the handballs, really. Inside 50s, they both got plenty of opportunity. 55 to 48, pretty much on the year's average for both teams. Their disposal efficiency, pretty much on average for the year as well. The inside 50 efficiency, Brisbane was up 7%, and of course Adelaide were 4% down. Free kicks 25-15, certainly in favour there of the Brisbane Lions, but no goals or no free kicks that I really saw made much impact on the game. Stoppages, hit-outs, not too far apart there, 41-49. Clearances pretty well even. Centre clearances pretty well even. All clearances pretty well even. So the mids around the ball, they did their job for their respective teams. Contested possessions, pretty much the same. Pretty much the same in the uncontested, and the turnovers, only 5 the difference there. So have a look at the marks, how they hung on to the ball today, 105-86. Brisbane Lions take that out. Inside 50 marks, 12-13. So that's pretty good. No domination there. As I said, both teams, they had their chances when they had the mark inside their forward 50 and had shots on goal. Contested marks, Adelaide a little bit stronger in that area, 15-6. Of course, we've got the scoring there, 14-13 to 13-8. Another high scoring game here. Great to see plenty of goals, fast play and action all there happening today in this game. No worries, Jose. Thanks, brother. Great analyst. Mate, thank you. You're welcome, you're welcome. I try and run through this when I do the footy with the player stats and just the, the team stats, because I think, some people like to see the stats and how close it was, and if your team, dominated or got towered up a little bit in that situation. So, and the 1%ers, look, both were doing the 1%ers. That's why I say don't be disheartened if you're an Adelaide fan. There was a lot to like about their game today. But of course, Brisbane on their home ground was a little bit too strong. Of course, responding well when Adelaide made the comeback in that third quarter and the final quarter. They just held on strong, did the Brisbane Lions. All right, as we quickly take this back up. There's the score. Now, that's still there. I'm going to have a little bit of a look at the ladder now. As we have a look at the ladder, as we can now see, folks, Brisbane have jumped into the top 8. They're now sitting 7th on 38 points with 120.4%. There we go. The Brisbane Lions, they've had the straight 5 wins. They got the picket fences. Win for the Brisbane Lions. So after a slow start to the season where they lost, I think they lost their first 5 in a row. And the start of the season, I think they were just about riding Collingwood and Brisbane off, the reigning grand finalists. They're both picked up pretty good. Brisbane, they're now in the 8. And I think next week they have West Coast. So we are thinking that should be a pretty handy win coming up there for Brisbane. I think West Coast got towered up by a big margin over Melbourne today. So Brisbane will be looking forward to next week. So on top of the ladder after their loss today, Sydney Swans, they still remain on top. They're 2 games clear of Carlton in 2nd after losing last night. Fremantle jump up to 3rd on the ladder after this week. They're on 42 points, 115%, just ahead of the Bombers. Geelong follow there in the 5th spot on 40 points. Port Adelaide 40, Brisbane 38, and rounding out the top 8, GWS Giants on 36. As you can see, and of course in 9th, Collingwood and Melbourne both on 36. The Bulldogs and the Gold Coast Suns and Hawthorn are just 1 game out of the 8. So over the next few weeks, I think we're going to see a little bit of a gap opening up here in the run to the finals come August, September for the finals. So there we go. Just looking at the games next week, and of course Richmond with their loss, they now go to the bottom of the ladder, and North Melbourne with their win, they go now to 2nd bottom. But there we go. Where is Adelaide Crows? They dropped down to 15th now on 22 points. Still got a healthy percentage, but they play St Kilda next week. And of course, we know St Kilda had a victory today over the Sydney Swans by 2 points. It could be a little bit of a fast step. Adelaide did need to win that game today to stay in the hunt come September. So there we go. Just looking at the games next week. Sydney will take on North Melbourne. Carlton will take on the Western Bulldogs. Fremantle will take on Hawthorn. Essendon will take on Melbourne. A cracking game that will be. Fremantle and Hawthorn, that's another fantastic game. I should be able to cover a couple of these games next week. Essendon and Melbourne will be an interesting game. Both had good wins. Geelong, Collingwood, well, the Pies, I think they're, I don't know, they're just a little bit tired of the game's not quite on, but Geelong, after watching them yesterday, they look on fire. So they're a team to look out for as well. Of course, Port Adelaide, Gold Coast. So all these teams here, Brisbane versus West Coast, and the Giants versus Richmond. These two teams should have a win. So they could be in line to actually leapfrog one or two teams there, depending on what happens with the other games. There we go. I think that's about it. That is the ladder. And that was today's game. So there we go. There's a little bit of a wrap up. But after today's game, the Brisbane Lions were just a little bit too strong for the Adelaide Crows, 14-13-97 v 13-8-86. Let's take a little bit of a look at that worm. Brisbane come out of the gate. Adelaide came back strong. Brisbane held off. Then they took their lead again. Adelaide came again. Then Brisbane. Then it was a stalemate. Brisbane came out. Then Adelaide did that fight back, and they got within about 7 points there, and then Brisbane, they put the pedal to the metal, and then of course it was an up and down, and Adelaide looked like they were coming back, but again, Brisbane too strong, and they held off. Very gallant Adelaide by 11 points here at the Gabba. Well done to Brisbane. Congratulations to both sides who played well. Commiserations to Adelaide, but as I said, don't be too disheartened, because the Adelaide Crows, you played a great game today. It was a great spectacle. Another one of those close ones. All right, folks, I will leave the scoreboard up for about 5 minutes for any latecomers who want to check out the score. But that's me. I will end my talking. But thanks everyone for coming in. Much appreciated. We'll definitely see you on the next game. Next week, next Friday night, I should be doing that game. Let me just have a little bit of a look. Who is on next Friday night though? Next Friday night, it is Collingwood versus Geelong. That is next Friday night. I'll probably do that game. I'll cover it a little bit like this so you can get the actual commentary of the commentators, which will be fantastic. And then, of course, on Saturday, going through those games again. Saturday is Hawthorn and Fremantle, Sydney and North Melbourne, the Western Bulldogs v Carlton, Adelaide versus St Kilda, Melbourne versus Essendon. And then on the Sunday, you've got the Gold Coast Suns versus Port Adelaide up at People's First Stadium in Gold Coast. The Tigers take on the Giants at the MCG, and the Eagles take on the Lions at Optus Stadium in Perth. There we go. So Brisbane have to travel next week all the way across the country to Perth. So that is fantastic. All right, folks, I will stop my talking, and I will see you Friday night. I'll just leave this board up for another 5 minutes for any latecomers who want to come in and check the score. Australia, Philippines, 115.53. Oh, wow, good stuff. Good stuff. Aussies. Great stuff. See you on the next one. Thanks, Jose. Appreciate that, Squire. You're a Brisbane supporter. Would that be right? You're a Brisbane supporter? Always good to know who follows who. You know, I think whoever you support, like even for me as a footy lover who loves, watching the footy, indeed is a Brisbane. I tell you what, they're going all right, aren't they? I tell you what, there could be ones to look out for. People wrote them off after round 5. They started to get their mojo back a little bit. Still a little bit iffy on how they were playing, but after seeing them play today, they do look like they've moved forward and playing a good brand of footy once again. So it could be just their right time that they're putting every step forward correctly at this time of year. This is where you want to be coming home strong, you know, when we've got about 7 rounds to go until the final. So could be happy days for you, Jose, with the Brisbane Lions. All good stuff. All right, folks, thanks for that. Ciao for now. We'll see you in the next live. It'll be next Friday night. We'll cover the next game. That's Geelong versus the Collingwood Magpies. And I will leave the scoreboard up for another 5 minutes for the late covers. But thanks again, folks. We'll see you again. Congratulations to Brisbane.